Revolution, gun control the sound of soul. Shooting rockets to the moon, kids growing up too soon. Politicians say more taxes will solve everything. And the band played on.
Around and around and around we go. I'm getting dizzy. Maybe I get around. Great Beach Boys song. That's one of the shortest songs coming out of the 60s and 70s. I get around. I think it's like 70 seconds long or something. But I do get around, especially from 12 to 3. In case you may have forgotten, you may have heard the voice, Bill DeFabio. Maybe you've heard of the young lady that I get to work with from 12 to 3, Lola Miller. We're here today. A lot of conversation involving football, almost everything, okay? We'll find other things to talk about, too. 3 hours will go real fast today, believe me. And then I'm out of here at 3:05. But we got Ray Fittipaldo on. Since I'm not going to be around for a few days, I thought today we could get him to talk about Monday night, the Chicago Bears. But the big story, Ray, is out of Cleveland. I guess they found a cure for cancer because Mr. Beckham's gone. He was released, what, this morning?
They found a way to remove a cancer, I guess.
Yeah.
OBJ has been released. They figured out a way to sort of rework his contract where they could make it palatable for both sides. So I don't know if Lola knows this, but the Detroit Lions have the #1 waiver claim, and they could put in a claim if they want him.
Like we don't have enough problems already.
Ray,
Good
I'm choking,
God.
Ray. I didn't hear about that. Detroit's perfect for him.
No, it's not.
You know what? He'll go to Detroit, and then when the Steelers play Detroit, he'll probably have 3 touchdown catches, you know? He's only had, what? He's had 7 in 3 years, right?
Yeah, and I saw something yesterday. I think it's accurate. He was paid $412,000 per catch during his tenure with the Browns.
Oh, boy. All that talent, you know, from the neck down. You know, I really liked him, but whatever. Is the cancer gone? Because, you know, Baker's still there.
I don't know if you saw it last night on the NFL Network. I believe it was former Panthers and Ravens receiver Steve Smith said Baker's the problem, and he hopes the truth comes out someday. So I think Browns management obviously believes OBJ was the cancer, but apparently there's some people on the outside, at least, who believe Baker is the problem. So I guess we'll find out. You know what they say, we're going to find out sooner or later.
Well, a lot of the talking heads on the NFL show, I do watch that because those guys are very knowledgeable. You know, everybody's feeling, you know, he's only about 75, 80% healthy. That shoulder has to be bothering him, although he doesn't throw with the left shoulder, but he's got physical problems, you know? Put Case Keenum in there. He knows the system.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers beat them 15-10, and Baker looked good on the first drive, Bill. You know, I'm sure you watched that like all the other Steelers fans out there. But they went right down the field. I mean, the Steelers bowed up, held them to a field goal, and then, you know, after that it was a whole bunch of nothing. You know, they shut down the Browns' running game, and you know, I think the NFL has come to learn that if you put Baker in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12 situations, he's not the type of guy who's going to win for you in most of those occasions. So, you know, we'll see what the rest of the season holds for Baker. I'm sure he was a little bit banged up in that game, but you know what they say, if you're healthy enough to go out there, there shouldn't be an excuse.
And, you know, he needs to have a good year because he's up for some big money next year.
He is. Yeah, you know, some of the reports that he can make between $30 and $35 million next year, maybe more. You know, these quarterback contracts are they get crazier and crazier, Bill. But that's the price of doing business. If you want to draft a quarterback in the first round, you want to develop them. No matter where they are in that development process, eventually you're going to have to pay them. And I think the Browns are squarely, you know, in that scenario now. It's not like it's the Josh Allen, you know, situation. You know, Josh was the same year, and he's proven himself. You know, he is a top-flight quarterback, in the NFL now, and other guys have taken similar steps. Like even a guy like Lamar Jackson, even though he's not a pure passer, I think he's proven more than Baker. So they're just kind of in no man's land there. They got to make a decision one way or the other. But like we've talked about, before, do you want to start over with a new quarterback and see if it works? Probably not. So they're probably going to pay him.
Well, since what, 1998, they've had what, almost 30 quarterbacks? 1,500 head coaches?
Yep.
And you think about the Steelers, only 3 head coaches since 1969.
Yeah.
Boy, Beckham to Detroit. That's going to drive Lola to drink.
Not that I need a big excuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be another one.
As if she needed it, right?
Yeah, it's okay. So if you hear of a Budweiser light shortage in Wheeling, you know why. Hey, I know what you're going to be doing Sunday. And is it a 1 o'clock game or 4 o'clock game? It's a big game for both teams, Cincinnati and Cleveland. Cleveland loses, I think they're in trouble because I looked at their schedule and it's not very easy. Cincinnati, I still can't believe the Jets beat them, but as Chuck Noll would say years ago, on any given Sunday. But that's a big game for both teams, and I'm sure Steelers will be watching that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just a lot of football fans will be watching that game because the AFC right now is kind of a big jumbled mess. I mean, other than Buffalo, I don't know that there's a team out there that you can really believe in. And Buffalo has 2 losses too. So yeah, I mean, Steelers play on Monday night this week. I'm gonna kick back and watch some NFL football on Sunday, and I'll definitely be tuning in for the Browns and the Bengals. I think that's going to give us a pretty good indication if the Browns are done or if they're still going to be in this thing.
Yeah, or the Bengals will become the Bungles again. And then when is the game with Green Bay? Green Bay and
the kids.
425. 425
on Fox. Correct.
Yeah, how would you like to be covering the Packers with Aaron Rodgers? Always being in the spotlight.
Yeah, how about? I never would have guessed. I mean, I'm a reporter, Bill, and I watched that news conference from, I think it was back in July or August.
Yeah.
It was during training camp. He comes out and flat says, "I'm immunized."
Yeah.
Now he didn't say I'm vaccinated, but I don't know if a lot of people, really would have scrutinized his words there. So I guess if you've had COVID, you're immunized. I mean, I don't know. One way or the other, he lied about it, and I'm sure the Packers and I'm sure Aaron Rodgers are going to be forking over some money to the New York offices.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've already been in contact with the front office of the Green Bay Packers. But I was looking forward to that. Man, Mahomes, Rodgers, that's going to be great. Even Mahomes, I think we used a soundbite the other day where he talked about, I was looking forward to playing against him because he's one of the all-time greats. And now he's going up against Love. You know what I'm hoping for? Jordan Love completes 27 of 35 for 3 TDs. And he throws for 300 yards. That would be great.
That'll start the speculation all over again. Where is Aaron Rodgers going to play in 2022?
Yeah, imagine Aaron Rodgers in a big market. They'd kill him in L.A. They'd crucify him in New York. In Philadelphia, he'd probably be booed in the parking lots. He's lucky to be at a small market place called Green Bay, Wisconsin. Don't we have a connection there? That one of the Steelers' assistant PR guys is now doing PR in Green Bay?
Yes.
I forgot his name.
I just saw him at the game, too. I could see his face. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I saw him on TV on the field, too. Grabbing players. What the hell was his name?
Nate LaCasio.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah. Nate's a good guy, by the way. He says, I remember talking to him a couple of years ago over the phone. Well, we never have any problems here in Green Bay. Yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you do. But, yeah, I was looking forward to that matchup. So, I even like the matchup with Tennessee and the L.A. Rams. I think that'll be – there's going to be a lot of good football on Sunday. So, yeah, I'm going to be watching a lot of football. And then we got the Bears. Biff Leonard here, who's a big Notre Dame fan, is a big Chicago Bears fan. So I said good luck. Then the following week, I probably won't say too much about the Lions because, they're not very good. Are they the only team with no wins, Lola?
Yes, they are. They are the only winless team.
Yeah. Where are they? They're 0-7 or 0-8? 0-8. Oh, my. And who do they have this week? Let me see. Oh, they won't lose. It's a bye week. Yeah, they got a bye week with Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Washington.
I think they thought they've had a bye week every week.
I think she'd make a good reporter. What do you think?
I think so. Sign her up.
Yeah, of course, we had some problems in Pittsburgh. I remember the press conference with Ingram, and, I'm going to a great franchise. I love the team. I love the guys, and I guess he didn't get enough playing time, so now he doesn't love anybody, but he's a member of the Chiefs. I think he can help the Chiefs. But
Well, the Chiefs' defense isn't very good, and they do need pass rushers. But,
yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So other than Detroit, I don't think Detroit's going to take, they have the first pick if they want Beckham. Who else would he fit in with? Belichick wouldn't take him, would he?
I was about to say, how about Belichick?
Yeah, he would straighten him out or kick him out of town.
No, they're probably, they're 4-4, so they're probably in the middle of the waiver order.
Yeah.
A bunch of other teams would have claims on him first, but yeah, you never know.
I picked also the Raiders and the Ravens.
How about the Jaguars?
Jacksonville?
Give a weapon to Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah. So how much money will Beckham lose? Do you know?
Well, I mean, so much of that contract he signed was guaranteed. I mean, I'm sure that he was on the opening day roster, so this year was guaranteed. He might have lost some money for the remaining years on that contract, but he made a ton of money from that deal, and a lot of it was signing bonus too. So he definitely made out on it.
What do you think did him in? His dad with the 40-minute video showing how he's wide open?
Well, we say did him in, Bill, but I'm not too sure this wasn't calculated. I mean, this happened, 2 days before the trade deadline?
Yeah.
I think this was kind of orchestrated from behind the scenes here. I'm speculating that was the case, and I think a lot of other people have made that same deduction. So, it's happens in a lot of places, but boy, when it happens in Cleveland, a couple of days after the Steelers beat them on their home field, I'm sure a lot of Steelers fans get a big chuckle out of that.
All right, let's talk about the Steeler game Monday. Since I won't be here, we can talk about it now, 2 days before, whatever. Pittsburgh is favored by 6.5. How can Chicago pull the upset? How can this become a trap game?
If the Steelers don't stop the Bears' running game, the Bears have the number 6 ranked rushing offense in the NFL. Now, David Montgomery is kind of a question mark going into this game. He's their number 1 running back. They got another guy by the name of Herbert from Virginia Tech who's come in and done well as well. And you also have Justin Fields who can scramble around and get some yards in the running game. He had over 100 yards last week, including a 22-yard touchdown. So if they don't force the Bears into passing, if they allow them to run, then that's certainly one way that the Steelers could lose that game. I mean, listen, Bill, the Steelers are doing better on offense, but they still only scored 15 points in that win against the Browns. So it's not like the Steelers are lighting it up on offense. So, if the Bears can keep it close and they can get their running game going a little bit, that would be one avenue to get it done.
How much do you want to bet? What is it, December or January, whatever, the last game of the year in Baltimore? It just could be the last game that Ben Roethlisberger plays. Do you think they will change the times and make that, a night game, national television? And there's a lot on the line.
I was going to say, if that is for a playoff spot or if that's for playoff seeding, then, I could see, NBC wanting that game. If the Steelers are out of the playoffs or the Ravens are out of the playoffs and it's just Ben's last game, then I don't know if they would take that. But, definitely. If that's for a spot in the playoffs or if that's for the AFC North crown, then, I definitely think that could be flexed.
Back to the Bears while we have a couple of minutes. Their defense is not that bad, right?
No. And, Khalil Mack is their their top edge rusher. They're paying him $25 million a year. He's kind of iffy for this game. He's got a foot injury. So if he plays, yeah, I think, it's not going to be easy on Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers' offensive line. But if he doesn't play, and it doesn't look like he's going to play, but if he doesn't play, then that should be a big advantage for the Steelers. That would be the equivalent, the Browns having to play without Myles Garrett. So that would be a big deal, and, that would certainly be beneficial to the Steelers' chances of winning on Monday night.
Yeah, does Myles Garrett have asthma? Because it seems like at least every series I watch him, he's on the sidelines for a play or two.
Yeah, a lot of edge rushers do that. T.J. Watt, he plays fewer snaps than Alex Highsmith. I think a lot of those guys who give all-out effort on every single play sometimes take themselves out. So I don't think it's out of the ordinary. I don't know what Garrett's snap count was, if it's any different from T.J. Watt's, but I think a lot of edge rushers do that.
You want a Yankee note just released?
I saw last night Brent Gardner did not have his option picked up.
Does that mean he's a free agent?
He's a free agent, correct.
Wow. I always disliked him, but I liked his hustle,
Is that what you were going to tell me?
Yeah, I just saw it on my phone.
Yeah, I don't like him either. He's a little bit, what's the word, smug,
Yeah. Arrogance? There. Well, hey, if you played in New York with all that media coverage, you can't pick your nose without getting your name in the Post or the Times,
Yeah, but he was never good enough to be like that.
No. He was no Derek Jeter, right?
No.
And then I see there's interest maybe in a first baseman called Freddie Freeman, who I always liked.
He's a Braves lifer. He should stay with the Braves. I would be disappointed in Atlanta if they didn't sign him again after winning the World Series.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in Pittsburgh, even media people who are fans instead of reporters. Oh yeah, let's bring McCutchen back. No, I'd rather have Anthony Rizzo there. With that short right field, he's good in the locker room. He become a fan favorite, and I don't think McCutchen would want to come to Pittsburgh because he still has some pop in his bat, and he might help a contender.
Yeah, what's Kutch? 35 years old. Yeah. I mean, I hope he goes and plays another 5 more years. I mean, he's an iconic Pittsburgh player. But I mean, not only why would the Pirates sign him when the Pirates aren't going to be contenders, but why would Andrew McCutchen want to come to a team that's in a total rebuilding situation? It doesn't really make sense from my understanding.
Doesn't make sense. And, he's not going to get a whole lot of money with the Pirates, so whatever. I had Dick Grote on yesterday. I don't think I shared this with you. And while I was trying to line him up, because he's 91 years old, I had to work with his daughter to make sure he was going to be available on a different phone in their house. One of the things that he found out real quick when he was traded to St. Louis, and, he was mad because he was traded by Joe L. Brown, is the St. Louis Cardinals pay you big, big bucks. He didn't realize that until he got to St. Louis. And he said, let's just say the front office of the Pirates, and he wouldn't tell me, but I knew what he meant, that they were cheap, even back then.
Yeah, Dick Grote was the color commentator on Pitt broadcast when I was doing Pitt basketball, and I did that for 10 years, so I was on the road with those guys a lot, and I heard a lot of those stories. So I can definitely confirm that was true.
And working with those guys for a couple of years, about 6, I think, I couldn't wait for Manhattan. I forget the name of that bar that we would go to, but they would never have to pay for anything. They were so well liked.
Rosie O'Grady's.
That's it. Yeah, I was there having a Diet Coke. And Grote would say, even Hillgrove, come on, have some hard liquor. I go, no, I got to get ready in about 6 hours. Those guys, they might go back to the hotel like 4 or 5 in the morning because they kept the bars open. And you couldn't tell that they were drinking the night before for a 12 o'clock game at Madison Square Garden for the Big East.
Well, they always said Grote he always kept those baseball hours, right? You play it late at night, you go out, and then you sleep during the day. So I don't think Dick changed his ways when he was working in media either.
Yeah, 91 years old, and I'll still tell anybody if they want to argue, the best double play combination in baseball, Mazeroski and Grote.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, Gene Alley did a good job too, Alley and Maz, but there was nothing like Grote and Bill Mazeroski. So very few of those guys left, but they keep in touch after all these decades. All right, I'd like to keep in touch with you for at least another week or so, okay?
All right, Bill. Hey, enjoy your time off next week. I'll talk to you.
Okay, all right. Let's take a break. And when we come back, where are we going? Bel Air, Ohio, okay? Mark Spigarelli will be joining us. And we'll talk about his game coming up, all right? And I'll ask him about the Kirkland Hornets. For some reason, nobody wants to play that team. They must be real good. We'll be right back.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. A Kanawha County school counselor, once honored at the White House for his work, is now behind bars. Kanawha County school officials say they are aware of the charges now leveled against 42-year-old Todd Rotze. Investigators claim he was found in possession of videos and images of adults sexually assaulting girls between the ages of 5 and 12. He's an employee of Pinch Elementary, and in 2016 was West Virginia's Elementary School Counselor of the Year and actually visited the White House to celebrate the award. Also facing child porn charges, an athletic trainer and teacher at Musselman High School. State police say Douglas Wilson, a teacher and athletic trainer, was taken into custody Wednesday following multiple computers being seized from his home under a search warrant that were found to contain child porn and child erotica. State police said they were told back in October that Wilson told a Berkeley County school investigator he had been scammed after viewing pornography of younger persons. He's free on $9,000 bond. In Morgantown, tomorrow promises to be an historic day as number 9 is retired during the WVU Oklahoma State game. The number worn by Mountaineer legend Major Harris. Harris, who grew up in Pittsburgh, recalled playing for the first time at Mountaineer Field.
In high school, probably played in front of 1,000 people. Probably the most like a city championship game, 2,000 or 3,000. Then to come down here and play in front of 65,000, 70,000. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first time running out on the field. It was awesome.
Major's number 9 will be the 5th jersey number in Mountaineer history to be retired. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's life-saving work, but there'll be some friendly competition to see who's best at it this weekend. The Eastern Collegiate Mine Rescue Contest is tomorrow in Boone County to be staged at the West Virginia Training and Conference Center, featuring a 96,000-square-foot underground simulated scenario mine training lab. The contest includes a timed written exam as well as simulated team rescue exercises that will include finding smoke, gas, caved-in areas, unsafe roof, and other problems underground in a timed contest. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Long.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
West Virginia Northern Community College will host its fall open house, both in person and virtually, on Saturday, November 6th, from 9 a.m. to noon. Both formats allow you to learn about programs, admissions, financial aid, and more. If you attend in person in New Martinsville, Wheeling, or Weirton, you can also tour the campus. Everyone participating in Northern's open house could win a $1,000 scholarship. For more information, visit wvncc.edu.
Do you have foot pain? Foot pain is not normal regardless of your age or job. Podiatric physicians are the most qualified doctors to care for your feet and can provide important foot care solutions or shoe inserts to better manage foot pain. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. We've been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey! Hey, buddy! Yeah. You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all.
Yep.
You probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for a statewide talk line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
I got my first real 6-string, bought it at the 5 and dime, played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we never get far. Oh, when I look back now, the summer seemed to last forever. And if I had the choice, yeah, those wanna be there. Those were the best days of my life.
Coming up at 105, we'll talk Buckeye football with my Buckeye guy, Steve Hellwagon. I think he's at the airport getting ready to go to Nebraska. Reno will be joining us at 1:35. Kyle Wiggs, our West Virginia stringer. I shouldn't call him stringer. Our West Virginia Mountaineer reporter. How's that sound, Kyle, if you're listening? He'll be on at 2:05. And then Mr. Oddsmaker, Bobby the Legend, will be on at 2:35. Okay, let's go down the street, hang a left, then a right, 8 miles away, Bel Air, Ohio, home of this young man, Mark Spigarelli. You're about 8 miles away from Wheeling, right, Mark?
Yeah, I think so. That's about right.
Okay. Tell me about Garrett, whoever they are. You're playing them on the road. Tell me about them.
It's Garrettsville, Garfield. We play them tomorrow night, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. It's about 2 hours and 15-minute trip. They're undefeated this year. They're big, very big on the offense and defensive line. They have a tailback that has like 1,800 yards and I think 26 touchdown rushing.
Oh.
About 90% of the time, all they really want to do is run the ball.
Wow. So you've watched a lot of video of the kid. 1,800 yards?
Yeah, 1,800 yards rushing, 26 touchdowns rushing.
How do you stop a kid like that?
I just try to get 9 or 10 guys in a box and just try to do your best to get lined up right, get off blocks, and make tackles.
I got it. Keep their offense off the field. Is that coach speak or what?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do our best there because, they take their time, and if it's 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, they're still going to try to run the ball.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Are you pretty healthy, Coach?
Yeah, real healthy. We're lucky for us. We've been pretty good the last few weeks.
Okay, because, everybody plays with a little bump, a little bruise here and there, and no major injury. So, good luck. Let's talk about their defense when you have the football.
They play like a 3-4 defense. Their front 3 guys, they average, I think, 6'3", probably 280 to 290 on that defensive front. 4 good linebackers. They all run to the football, and they play basically like a cover 2 defense, something similar to what we do here at Belair.
Okay. Have you ever faced them in the past?
No, this would be the first time.
Okay. All right. And what's that, a 2-hour trip?
Yep, 2:15, yes, by bus.
You want to play the what if game?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's do it. I like to play what if. Okay, when it comes to professional sports, it's the price is right because, you know, everybody's a free agent, it seems. Okay, here we go. If you win tonight, who will you face next week? Do you know?
Probably Kirtland. I forget who they're playing. I think they're playing Akron, Manchester, and Kirtland right now has a 51-game winning streak, and they've won 3 straight state titles in Division 5.
Wow. Have you ever played them before?
No, never. I think they just beat Harrison Central last week, I think 56-0.
Oh, a 51-game winning streak for the Hornets?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're really good.
Wow. How long of a trip is that on the bus?
Well, that next week, instead of us going to Kirtland, that would be at a neutral site yet to be determined on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Would it be like a site between the 2 schools? How do they decide that? Okay.
Yeah, probably either at close proximity between the 2 schools.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. Do they have a running back that's, you know, as good as the kid you're facing in Garrett in 1,800 yards, or are they just good all over?
They're kind of good all over, but I think they still like to run the ball too, but they'll pass it a little bit more than the team we're facing on Saturday night.
Do you have to coach differently from the regular season to the playoff season because the postseason? Because, you know, I know it's a silly question, but, you know, sometimes things have to change a little bit because if you lose, you go home.
No, not really. We just try to keep it simple, you know, just keep the same routine, you know, from lifting weights, you know, in class and after school, just try to do the same thing all the time, week in and week out.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, congratulations, Coach. If I knew of a way to stop this kid with 1,800 yards, how many touchdowns? 26?
Yeah, 26 rushing, and I think about 6 or 7 passing he's caught.
Wow. What kind of field, natural or artificial stuff?
Natural grass, just like us.
Okay, is that a plus?
I think so, yeah, because we know it looks like both teams have been playing on it most of the year, you know, when they're at home. So, yeah, I think it's a plus.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the fire department in their hometown, and we'll water down the field.
Yeah, well, I think it was pretty wet last week when they played Sandy Valley. It looked like it rained the whole time. So, really, it was a low-scoring affair last week.
What did you take from that video?
Probably the same videos that I've seen all week, you know. Still, you just got to get lined up on defense, make tackles, and then, you know, on offense, maybe we have to spread the ball out a little bit more than we naturally do because they might be hard to run up against.
Okay. Does your fans travel well? I mean, there's going to be a busload or two of boosters and, you know, fathers and moms following their kids?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they've got a bus or 2 or anything. I think they're just, you know, be going on their own. But, yeah, we do. We always travel well here at Belair.
Okay, well, you better win because, you know, if you win, we get to talk next week.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we get to talk next week.
And tell Mr. Sherwood that I talked to one of his favorite wide receivers back in the 60s, Chris Potts, who owns it's a shop right near my house. Cheeses, furniture, oh, come on. Amish, he owns an Amish store.
Oh, really? Okay, Chris Potts. Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah, Chris Potts, Mike Sherwood. I still think they keep in touch. You know, they were good buddies at WVU, and I remember watching Sherwood play at Bel Air, coming to Washington and kicking some butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now he's an AD again. I thought he retired for good. Then he came back. You guys must like him.
Oh, he does a super job for us here.
All right, tell him I said hey.
I'll do so.
And good luck.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me on your show again.
Okay, hope we can talk next week.
Okay, me too.
All right. 1,800 yards, 26 touchdowns. And then if they have to play Kirkland, 51 wins in a row, 3 straight state champs. What is that, a pro team? The Kirkland Hornets. Well, when you get in the postseason, you know, nothing's a given. So, you know, I'm sure Bel Air's an underdog in the game tomorrow and probably be next week. But, you know, underdogs sometimes rise to the top. What do they say? Cream rises to the top. Is that what they say, Lola? Cream rises to the top. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to do the sports sound. The sound of sports involving players. And I don't think we have any coaches. Hold on. Where are we going to go? Oh, we're going to go to Indianapolis, we're going to go to Cincinnati, and we're going to go to Pittsburgh. How about the Penguins win last night? You know what's sad? Usually when I watched the replay in a bar after I had dinner at that same place, you could see the puck just in the white ice. And, but the review took about 7 minutes. That takes all of the away from the fans. Because usually when you win with a goal like that, the fans go crazy. Well, the fans had to wait because of replay. And it's not the same. But the Penguins needed that win, all right? And they won in overtime 3-2 over their state rivals, the Philadelphia Flyers. We'll hear from Chris Letang, okay, and Joe Burrow, and Carson Wentz. Did I leave somebody out? Oh, Baker Mayfield. Oh, Baker, we haven't forgot about you because we carry the Cleveland Browns here on the radio. And your daddy-o, Bill D, will be back along with his sidekick and teammate, Lola Miller, because we are the Watchdog.
This is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Talk Line. I have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
West Virginia Northern Community College will host its fall open house, both in person and virtually, on Saturday, November 6th, from 9 a.m. to noon. Both formats allow you to learn about programs, admissions, financial aid, and more. If you attend in person in New Martinsville, Wheeling, or Weirton, you can also tour the campus. Everyone participating in Northern's open house could win a $1,000 scholarship. For more information, visit wvncc.edu.
The timeless sounds of polka live here. Join us 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays for the Polka Showcase with Rich Biella. Sunday mornings never sounded so good.
Bobby the Legend texted me the other day, the games he's going to talk about. I wanted to question him on Pitt Duke, but that could be a trap game. I said that about Western Michigan. We know how that ended. WVU, Oklahoma State, Pitt Duke, Auburn, Texas A&M. That will be a good one. Of course, Cincinnati and Cleveland on Sunday, and we'll have that game on at 1 o'clock on the airwaves. Green Bay, Kansas City. I can't wait to hear how that line has changed because, you know, the line was different a few days ago until the Aaron Rodgers, I got COVID. I didn't realize I had it. He's not going to play. Kansas City and Pittsburgh. I think Kansas City is now favored by, 7.5 points played in Kansas City. I hope Jordan Love, the fill-in for Rodgers, has a great game. Throws for about 300 yards, completes 27 out of 36, 3 touchdowns. Take that, Aaron. They don't need you, right? Whatever. And let's see. And we got Pittsburgh and Chicago on Monday, okay? And the Legends coming up at 2:35. Hopefully, if he's not grocery shopping or taping a show for a news show, because he does news at WAJR, we have Kyle Wiggs on coming up at the 2 o'clock hour. Ohio State, Steve Hellwagon, he's at the airport, and he wants to get out of Columbus to go to Nebraska, okay? All right, that's all coming up. Lola, I want to get back to WVU and Oklahoma State. Great matchup. Major Harris will be honored at the game. He's going to have his jersey, number 19, retired. Only the 5th WVU player to have his jersey retired. Wasn't he involved with your football team?
Yeah, he was our head coach.
Okay.
One of the funniest men alive.
Funny stories and stuff?
Just funny, period.
Wow.
He was so funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Both championships? Was he a coach?
No.
Okay. No. All right. The Major, I remember him. Out of Pittsburgh. Okay. Yeah, there you go. But number 19 will be retired. I should have looked it up. That's 5 jerseys retired. I think one of them is Sam Huff. I'm not sure. Maybe a true blue West Virginia Mountaineer fan will call and tell me who are the other jerseys that retired, okay? I could tell you some basketball jerseys, but, and I know one of them very well, Jerry West. And hopefully they will never remove his logo from the uniforms that the NBA players wear. Maybe LeBron will make that difference. I don't know. But I watched again this morning different angles of that crash involving the LA Raider, who's no longer a LA Raider. Imagine going about 2 seconds before crash, about 154 miles an hour in a Corvette. If you know anything about Corvettes, and I was lucky to have a couple of them, plastic. A little ding in the bumper, you're talking big bucks. Hitting a RAV4, an older RAV4, which is a little bit more solid body-wise than the Corvette. And I saw different angles this morning. I don't know why I watched that. Probably so I can talk about it. Tragedy. A young woman and a dog dying. And then you got this guy, his blood level, alcohol, that was double what it's supposed to be. 3:30 in the morning, drunk. And he had a gun on the floor. That's tough gun laws in Vegas. But his life's ruined. Even if he gets out of it a couple of years in jail or whatever, he's got to look in the mirror every day. Every day he's got to look in the mirror. Wow, I killed a person and a dog. Stupid. And he's a good player. He was one of Nick Saban's favorite players at Alabama. I remember watching him all the time. Mac Jones throwing touchdowns, passes to him all the time. His career would have been great in the NFL. Now it's not so great. Yeah, it happens. It happens. All right, Lola, let's do the sounds of sports. I almost said the sounds of music. Thursday night football, I didn't watch a single play. I watched the replays this morning. I didn't realize that 75 points was scored. The Colts beat the Jets 45-30. How about Indianapolis quarterback Carson Wentz? 23 out of 30 for 272 yards. And oh, by the way, Carson threw 3 TD passes.
100%. When I can turn around, we had, one play drive for, I think JT took it 75 or something like that. Those are the best drives in football for a quarterback. When you can just turn around and give it to a guy, and whatever the total number of 200-plus rushing yards today.
How about their running back, Jonathan Taylor? Stud. 19 carries against a weak Jets offense, but still 19 carries for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Jets dropped to 2-6. The Colts improved to 4-5. The Steelers will host the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. But there'll be a lot of Steeler players and Baltimore players interested in the AFC North matchup on Sunday. Cleveland will visit the Cincinnati Bengals. How about Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow? He's having an unbelievable and a productive year. 20 touchdowns from Smokin' Joe.
I mean, almost every single team has struggled to run the ball against them. They're tough inside, and they do a really good job of keeping everything in front of them. So We're gonna have a good plan. We're gonna have to be ready to go as we do it every week.
I think Burrow will have a great game after that tough loss to the New York Jets last week. Now, there's been a lot of distractions on the field and off the field with the Cleveland Browns. A lot of distractions. Some of that eliminated today with Mr. Beckham being released. So let's hear from Baker Mayfield.
So it comes down to realizing our priorities. Our job is to go out there and do anything we can to win. And we have to be focused because Cincinnati's playing well right now.
Yeah, that should be a great matchup. Great matchup last night. You know, battle of Pennsylvania teams, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Oh, these guys, they hate each other. That's okay. A physical game played last night, and it was an overtime win for the Penguins by the score of 3-2, scoring his first goal of the year. One of the best defensemen who plays a lot of time on the ice. He played 28 minutes and 28 seconds of defense last night, and he scored the game-winning goal in OT. I'm talking about a future Hall of Famer named Chris Letang.
It's a nice one, especially that like we can't really control what's happening. It's not like guys are getting injured right now. It's just like we're testing positive, and even if guys are feeling good, they cannot play.
You know, a few days ago, he was recovering from COVID-19, and I watched the post-game show where he was interviewed, and he was, you know, I'm a little bit tired. Yeah, but he still plays a lot of time on the ice. And the Penguins needed that win. The Penguins will be in action this weekend against the Minnesota Wild. The Wild's having a pretty good time. I think they're 6-2-0, okay? And, you know, I was a big Buster Posey fan. Yeah, I was. You know, I thought he was like a little bit like Johnny Bench in the way he handled pitchers, the way he would throw guys out of second base. He is no longer in baseball. He took a physical beating for the last couple of years, but the Giants catcher was real good in his youth. 34 years old, he officially retired. I think the retired ceremony will take place in San Francisco in a couple of hours. 12 seasons with the Giants, 7-time All-Star catcher, and he was with the Giants when they won, 3 World Series way back when? What was it, 12-10? It was like every other year, 12-10, 12-12, and 12-14. That's a pretty nice trophy collection. The All-Star rings, which you receive if you played. He played in 7 of them, and he played in 3 World Series. I thought he was going to come back, you know, but he just said physically he took a pounding. And a great catcher. Hall of Fame? Maybe. I'd put him in. It's a great name, Buster Posey. All right. That's the way it is on our Sports Sound. I can't wait. Usually I was going to spend, you know, if the Steelers are playing on a Thursday night or a Sunday night, you know, I'm not going to, or if they're away on a Sunday or it's away on a Monday, I don't want to watch football. But I think the Browns and Bengals are going to be one interesting football game. The Browns need to win, or else they drop below 500. The Bengals want to come back because, you know, they were embarrassed, beaten by the Jets. And a young quarterback was playing in his first game, and all he talked about during the week, I'm just going to go out there and have fun. Fun? He looked like he's been in football for a long, long time. All right. I could use some feedback from you out there who are big West Virginia Mountaineer fans. Give me some jersey numbers that have been retired, because Major Harris is one of 5 that will be retired on Saturday against Oklahoma State, and he wore number 19. And Lola remembers him when he was was he a quarterback or a coach, Lola?
He was a coach.
Coach. A funny guy, too.
Absolutely.
The Major Harris I know was always smiling, always having a good time. And that's the way it should be when you're in sports. We'll be back. We're going to go to Columbus, Ohio, and talk with our Buckeye stringer who's getting ready to board the big plane. He's headed for Nebraska. We'll be right back.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1 W251CY, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7 W249DU, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At Washington National Cathedral, funeral services for General Colin Powell, with President Biden and former presidents and first ladies in attendance, along with military's top brass and Powell's family and friends. Gathering to honor the former Secretary of State and Joint Chiefs, Powell became the first African American to serve in both positions. Former Deputy State Secretary Richard Armitage, one of the speakers paying tribute.
This is a celebration. It's a celebration of a life.
Powell died last month from complications of COVID. He was 84 years old. President Biden delivered remarks at the White House on the better-than-expected jobs report. Employers added 531,000 to the payrolls in October, and wages, he says, went up.
Weekly pay went up in October, with an average hourly earnings up almost 5% this year.
The president says the economy is ramping up as vaccinations go up and COVID cases decline. Chief market strategist for TD Ameritrade, J.J. Keenahan, also says companies are pushing through those supply chain issues.
One area of the report that makes me particularly excited is the transportation and warehouse area.
In Georgia, it is the first day of the trial of 3 white men accused of killing unarmed black jogger Ahmaud Arbery.
Judge Timothy Walmsley's first order of business was to officially seat the jury.
And a true verdict you shall give according to the evidence, so help you God. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please have a seat.
A panel of 1 black and 11 white members will sit in judgment of 3 men accused of shooting Ahmaud Arbery to death. The defendants have said they were trying to make a citizen's arrest after a series of burglaries in their coastal Georgia neighborhood. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Celebrations in Atlanta right now for the Braves. With a parade underway, the World Series champions in baseball returning home after beating the Houston Astros. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC,
which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body.
I'm living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com.
Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
A target shooting near a tourist resort in Cancun, Mexico, resulted in the death of 2 drug dealers. That shooting taking place during a confrontation between rival gangs. Authorities say 4 Americans were injured. The tourist says it was a chaotic scene.
They just directed all of us to go to our rooms, and they would help us get into our rooms because so many people had left keys and so forth on the beach or in the pool when they ran for safety.
One of the Americans injured is hospitalized, said to be in stable condition. The other 3 sustained minor injuries. With nuclear talks set to resume at the end of the month, Iran claims it's almost doubled stockpile of enriched uranium.
In ever more flagrant violations of the 2015 nuclear deal, Iran now says it has 25 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium. That was forbidden under the nuclear deal since it's so close to 90% weaponization levels. Plus, Iran says its stockpile of 20% enriched uranium has reached 210 kilograms. That's nearly 3 times the latest estimate by UN inspectors. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
There are concerns that the high-speed 5G phone service could interfere with critical aviation safety systems. And because of that, AT&T and Verizon say they're delaying plans to have 5G up and running in December. The companies say they'll wait until early next year to launch the service. This is ABC News.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams announced yesterday he will leave his position January 3rd after 7 years on the job. Sarah Shookman with affiliate station WKYC-TV in Cleveland reports.
During an award ceremony for the police division, the chief shared a surprising and emotional thank you.
This is my last official act as the chief of this division, and I'm gonna miss you guys.
Mayor-elect Justin Bibb has said prior to this election that he would replace Chief Williams, and he'll do a nationwide search, including internal candidates, to fill the job. I'm Sarah Shookman.
And ground was broken this week on what will be the largest Costco warehouse in southwest Ohio. ONN's Steve Vaughn reports.
The new Costco off I-75 and the Butler Regional Highway will anchor the 88-acre, $133 million Freedom Point development, which will also feature more than 400 high-end apartments and condos.
This is a historic day in Liberty Township, and you might ask why, but this opportunity here is going to be the gateway to the north for Liberty Township.
Joe Henson with the Liberty Westchester Chamber Alliance says the development also has professional office buildings and possibly a boutique grocery. The Costco should be completed by the end of 2022. Steve Vaughn, ONN.
For a look at state news anytime, visit ONNradio.com. I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
304-214-1600. Call the Watchdog with your thoughts. We'll be right back to Local Talk.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gellner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gellnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Wheeling Coin and Hobby on 10th Street in Wheeling, next to the Bridge Tavern in downtown Wheeling, wants to buy any and all unwanted gold and silver jewelry. They are paying top dollar for 10, 14, 18, and 22 karat gold plus 925 sterling silver. They also want to buy collectible coins and paper money from before 1933. Wheeling Coin and Hobby is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Coin and Hobby, 304-232-8430, and add them on Facebook.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your football Friday. Plenty of sunshine to go around with a daytime high near 50 degrees. Overnight low rather chilly, near 28 under partly cloudy skies. Plenty of sunshine again for your Saturday, with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, the Watchdog.
I bet Buckeye fans would like to make this change. Beat Oregon like they lost earlier this season. Speaking of Buckeyes, he's at the airport in Columbus ready to take off on the Big Bird because he's going to spend the weekend in Nebraska where the Ohio State Buckeyes will take on Nebraska Cornhuskers. Steve Hellwagon, how are you?
I'm doing good, Bill. What's going on?
Okay, you got your ticket and everything ready to go on board?
I am ready. I'm through security. I'm just sitting here at the gate. We're going to board at 1:30 and depart at 2 o'clock, going to Midway, and then on to Omaha, Nebraska. Just can't wait to get there.
All right. Are you familiar with Omaha and the restaurants that you're going to attend tonight, or are you going to just eat in the hotel?
No, I don't think we've made any plans yet. They've got a really good steak place that we went to one time before called Mahogany Prime, which, Omaha, known for their steaks, obviously. So I think we'll be sampling something. I don't know if we're going there or somewhere else, but looking forward to it. This will be my fourth trip to see a game at Nebraska, and it's one of the best places in the country to go see a game.
I forgot Omaha Steaks. I always get things in the mail, You get a box
Yeah.
of steaks, and if you buy the steaks, you get like 4 steak burgers. It's a good deal, but I don't cook. I don't cook.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is at the airport there, you can pick them up right out of the freezer or the refrigerator and take them right on the plane with you. They sell them to the people leaving Omaha right there at the airport, and you just pack it up, take it with you. I guess dry ice or whatever, but yeah, exciting stuff. I love a good steak, that.
I do too. By the way, bring back 4 ribeyes for me and my boys, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about the game. This isn't going to be a trap game, is it?
Well, it's got that potential because Nebraska, 3-6 is their record, but all 6 of the losses have been by 8 points or less. And they've played 3 of the current top 10, 8 points or less, which was at Oklahoma, at Michigan State, they lost by 3 in overtime, and at home to Michigan, they lost by 3. So they've given everybody they've played a tough game. They just don't have any breaks to show for it or any wins. I mean, they beat Fordham. I don't know who else they've beat. I don't have the record in front of you. Who else? I knew they played 1AA Fordham, but other than that, they're due for a breakthrough. I'll put it that way. But Ohio State Open does come at their expense.
Yeah. Ohio State offense, defense, special teams, everybody healthy?
Yeah, it seems like they're going to be mostly full strength, I would think. The one guy that's been missing here lately is Master Teague, one of their backup running backs, but they've weathered the storm pretty well and survived despite that. So I guess we'll have to see game time if he's available or if anybody else is not going to be there for the game this Saturday.
All right. We got the playoffs or rankings out now. I don't pay much attention to them, but a lot of people do. I mean, I do in a way. It seems like Ohio State, even in the AP rankings with the coaches and the media, they seem to be hanging around, 5th or 6th, right?
Yeah, they're 5th in the coaches poll, 5th in the college football playoff rankings, and 6th in the Associated Press poll. So they're well positioned to move up because if they win out, they will have played Michigan State, who's number 3, and Michigan, who's number 7. So those wins would move them up, certainly. So they've got every chance to move into the top 4 here at the end of the season. It's just you got to go out on the field and prove it.
Yeah. Now Oregon's in the top 5 or 4 in every poll, right?
Yeah, Oregon started out at number 4, I believe, in the playoff poll, and they're right there. Michigan State was rewarded with their win over Michigan, 39. Rewarded with their win over Michigan, they got set in at number 3. So it's going to be a battle here down the last few weeks of the season. Who can win their games and stay in it, and who can't? Oregon's got a game against one of their rivals this weekend at Washington, Washington's starting to play some better football, so we'll see if they survive that one.
Oh, yeah. The Big Ten is so fun to watch because you have so much, you have a lot of talented teams. So it's going to go right down to the wire, and who knows, maybe Ohio State will need something to happen, outside of their umbrella to help them get into that Final Four playoffs. So.
Yeah, well, this weekend's interesting because Michigan State is on the road at Purdue, and they're in kind of the same trap game situation.
That's right.
Purdue's already beaten Iowa this year, and that was on the road at Iowa. So you think playing at home, they might have a chance to knock off Michigan State. And Michigan State had that big emotional win over Michigan last week, which the TV ratings came out. Fox had about 10 million viewers for that game. It was a noon game last week, went all the way down to the wire. Most watched college football game of the season last week was Michigan and Michigan State. So the people are tuning in to watch it.
Purdue at home favored. Michigan State's favored by 3. I like the quarterback for Purdue. I've seen him.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell has done a nice job, and they put some yards on the board. I think the one thing that would make you pause about that one is Kenneth Walker, the running back from Michigan State, went for over 200 yards last week against Michigan, scored 5 touchdowns, and it was just 2 weeks ago. Purdue went on the road to Wisconsin and gave up almost 300 yards rushing to Wisconsin because that's obviously what they do. So if Michigan State can get that running game going, maybe it wouldn't be such a tough game for them at Purdue.
And Michigan, of course, losing to Michigan State. They're at home. They're favored by 20 over Indiana.
Yeah, poor Indiana. Just been a rough year for them. I don't look for them to give Michigan much of a shot there, and Michigan's going to bounce back and win that game. I don't think anybody doubts that. So, Michigan's a good team still, regardless of the loss, and they're still in this hunt. If they can win out, then they make a case for it themselves.
If Michigan doesn't beat Ohio State, this might be the year that we could say goodbye, Jim Harbaugh. I know he's a great recruiter, or what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're 10-2, how do you fire the guy? I mean, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And they'll probably play in a big-time bowl game. There was renewed feeling around that program this year and a belief that they could get something done. And it's weird. They based everything around their defense and their running game. And finally, the quarterback, McNamara, throws for over 350 yards and they get beat. This guy finally played a career game and they lose. But that was maybe the one piece they've been missing for them, but they weren't able to win the game. So that's how they made some terrible mistakes in the fourth quarter, though. Fumbled a handoff, and they threw an interception, and they also had a fake punt that didn't work out for them as well. So they had three unforced errors there that really turned it for Michigan State.
Is the Buckeyes and the Wolverines, is that going to be in Columbus?
That game into the season is at Michigan. Ohio State, after this team comes home, and it's home the next 2 weeks with Purdue and Michigan State, and then the last game of the season at Michigan. And so it's all there, for the taking, for whoever can win these games at the end and get to Indianapolis to play for the Big Ten championship.
Yep. Well, I grew up watching Woody Hayes at Ohio State in the 60s and 70s, and that's, in my opinion, second best rivalry because I'm a big Army-Navy guy. It doesn't get any better than that. But Michigan and Ohio State, top-notch.
No doubt. The pageantry and everything that goes with it. It's a one-game season unto itself, and we still got a few more weeks till we get there. A lot of football to be played, 3 more games for both teams, but it's going to be fun when that week comes up.
Well, I see we're approaching 9.5 minutes. I don't want you to miss the plane, and I don't want you to get mad. That darn DeFabio kept me longer than 10 minutes. What's he trying to do? I don't want you to miss.
My plane. Yeah. Oh,
by the way, do you have to wear a mask on board?
Oh, yeah, I'm wearing one here at the airport now, and you'll have to wear one on the plane because, I'm a rules follower, Bill. I'm not a rule breaker. I'm a rule follower. I do what I'm told. So, I want to stay on the he can fly list. So,
okay. All right. What is that, about an hour and a half up in the air?
Yeah, we're going to be an hour to Chicago and probably an hour from there to Omaha. So, yeah, it's not bad.
Yep. All right. Maybe you could enjoy an Omaha steak. How about that?
We'll try and do our best. You know how it is. So.
Yeah. Hey, have fun. Hope you can bring back a winner because, we got a lot of Buckeye fans here in the Ohio Valley.
Yep. Keep them in it for another week. Let's see how it goes.
That's good. I like that idea. Have a safe trip.
All right, Bill. Take care.
Yeah, I got something in the mail the other day. It used to be like $125. You get all these steaks, you get all the potatoes, you get all the spices and everything. And if you take advantage of their what they call sale, you get 4 big-time steak burgers, okay? The picture looks real good, but I don't go by the picture. You go in the restaurants. Wow, that omelet looks great. You ever have an Omaha steak, Lola?
Yes.
Okay.
I bought them. I sent them as gifts to my son, too. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Let's take a break, and since we don't have a whole lot of time before 3 o'clock, maybe we'll go over some birthdays on November 5th, and some interesting looking back in sports and news. We do it all right here because we are the voice of the Ohio Valley. In case you've forgotten, we are and always will be your watchdog.
Hi, this is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10:06, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Statewide Talk Line. I'll have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
This is Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
The news that 5 to 11-year-old children can now get COVID-19 vaccines is a fantastic development for our school communities. For the first time, just about every student and staff member can be protected from the virus. Let's all do our part to take the vaccine if we're eligible and keep masking, distancing, and sanitizing while we wait for more people to have immunity.
Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education
Quaker
Association.
Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim
Every weeknight at 6 p.m., join the voice of the Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, on The Watchdog. Tony informs and entertains WVU fans with the latest Mountaineer sports news. If it happens in the world of gold and blue, Tony knows about it and shares it with you. Sportsline, weeknights at 6 on The Watchdog.
On this date in sports, 1994, the old guy beat up on the young guy. I'm familiar with the young guy because he's from Monessen, Pennsylvania, about 2 miles south of Donora, which is the home of Stan Musial and the Griffeys, and about 15 minutes from my house, Michael Moore. All right. George Foreman, at age 45, on this date in 1994, he regains part of the heavyweight title and he lost to Muhammad Ali. In 1974, he stopped Monessen's Michael Moore with a two-punch combination at 2 minutes and 3 seconds of the 10th round. Foreman, 45, captured the IBF and WBA championships to become the oldest champion in any weight class. And of course, he was known as a great boxer, and I don't know how many of you have bought in the past or are going to buy a George Foreman grill. And all of his kids are named George. Ooh. You remember the first Foreman grills that came out, Lola?
Yes, I do.
They weren't very big, were they?
No, they weren't.
Now they got all kinds of George Foreman grills. Yeah, they're pretty reasonable, too. Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things there. On this date in 2007, the Pirates hired John Russell as the team's manager. He spent the last 2 years as manager of the Philadelphia Phillies AAA affiliate. Nice guy. Yeah. The Pirates weren't that good when he was around. Okay. All right, let's go over the oldies calendar. A lot of birthdays, a lot of historic. Oh, I want to bring up the Packers have brought in a guy that the Steelers lost to, I think in a playoff game a long time ago, Blake Bortles. I thought he was retired. They signed Blake Bortles to the practice squad. Why? Because there is no Aaron Rodgers on Sunday. So if Love gets hurt, put in Blake Bortles. Okay. JFK, John F. Kennedy, age 29, on this date in 1946, began his political career by defeating, who did he beat? I'm reading this wrong. He got elected to the United States House of Representatives. He was one of the youngest to be a congressman in the state of Massachusetts. Richard Nixon, on this date in 1968, won the U.S. presidential election. He defeated Vice President Hubert Humphrey. Poor Hubert Humphrey, he always finished second. And a third-party candidate, I forgot about this guy, George Wallace. Nixon became the 37th U.S. president. And I remember 1971, the Lakers of Los Angeles were unbelievable. They began the longest winning streak in history of pro sports by winning their first 33 basketball games. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. Oh, I must have seen the Righteous Brothers 3 or 4 times, one of my favorite groups, and I was lucky enough to get tickets to see them. On this date in 2003, though, I was sad to learn that Bobby Hatfield, the tenor half of the Righteous Brothers, was found dead in Kalamazoo, Michigan. An autopsy revealed that his death was triggered by acute cocaine intoxication. Does that mean too much white stuff up the nose, Lola?
Yes.
Ugh. I heard
He
that.
overdosed.
He was 63 years old. The Righteous Brothers gained worldwide fame with You've Lost That Loving Feeling. Oh, Unchained Melody. They had so many good hits. Yeah. Dick Clark, I didn't like the guy because he took payola. How about the Beach Boys on this date in 1988? They hit #1 in USA with Kokomo. They set 2 music chart records with this event. It was the longest span of #1 hits, 24 years, 4 months since I Get Around, which was very popular in the early 60s. And the longest gap between #1 hits, 21 years, 10 months since one of the Beatles' favorite songs in 1966. The Beatles loved this song, Good Vibrations. I'm feeling it, whatever. Roy Rogers, Lola, born in this state. I may as well give you, I'm not going to have you guess. 1911, passed away 1998. His real name was Leonard Sly, and he was the king of the Cowboys. He appeared in 85 Westerns. He was the host with Roy Rogers' show, of course, and his sidekick, wife, Dell Evans, okay? He was always a popular Western star, but of course, the song that everybody still sings today, you want me to sing Happy Trails to you, Lola?
Sure, Bill, go right ahead. Be my guest.
No, that's okay. If Roy Rogers' spirit is listening, and what's he doing ruining my song? Ike Turner. Yeah, he used to beat up on Tina Turner. Ike and Tina Turner review. It's going to work out fine. Poor. What was their big song? Oh, Proud Mary. He was also the owner of a recording studio. Ike passed away in 1931. He was born in 1931, and he passed away December 12, 2007. And Tina is still looking good, still performing. I never got to see her, but maybe that's down the road. Elke Summer, one of my favorite actresses. Born on this date in 1940. She was Miss Italy. I didn't know that. Lola, she was in a popular movie called A Shot in the Dark. What was that about?
That was an Inspector Clouseau thing, I think.
Oh, a good movie?
Yeah, it's hilarious. Peter
Okay.
Sellers.
All right, you got to put an X there. Sometimes I need a good laugh. I didn't know she was Miss Italy way back in 1959. Wow, I just thought I saw this girl the other day. She was very young. She was in Paper Moon back in 1973. I remember her in Bad News Bears, okay? How old is Tatum O'Neal, Lola, within 2 years? For lunch to be named later if you're within 2 years.
I don't know. Geez, 40? I don't know.
One more guess.
Oh, 50?
I'll let you guess one more time.
What, just a 48?
No.
83?
No.
What?
This hand and this hand.
8?
No, 58. I owe you a lunch because I screwed it up. How's that? Art Garfunkel. Like a bridge over. Now, I wonder if he's homeward bound. Oh, maybe he's checking out Scarborough Fair. You know, but with his sidekick, Paul Simon, there's Sounds of Silence. But I think he had a girlfriend named Cecilia. I'm running out of cliches, but here we go. Born on this date in 1941. I can't believe Art Garfunkel was 80. Yeah, there was a song about me, too, that they wrote. I'm not getting any residuals from it. I Am a Rock head. He also did the second version. I forget who did the first. I Only Have Eyes for You. And he did Wonderful World with James Taylor and Paul Simon. And he was an actor in Catch-22. Don't know anything about that. Carnal Knowledge. What was that about, Lola? I know at one time it was a popular movie.
Carnal knowledge.
Yeah?
I mean, that's what it's about, carnal
Oh.
knowledge.
Did you like Art Garfunkel?
No,
Okay.
not particularly.
Okay. Did you like any of his songs?
Well, when he was with Simon, but I prefer a lot of the ones that Paul Simon has re-recorded with him, just himself, as a solo artist.
Ah.
I prefer over the duo.
Okay. Let's go over songs. 1960, number one. Saw them a couple of times in Pittsburgh and at the beautiful place up the street, the Capitol. The Drifters, Save the Last Dance for Me. Number two, maybe it was written about me back in 1960. I wasn't broadcasting back then, but I did talk too much by Joe Jones. 1968, number two was Those Were the Days. Oh, yeah, they were the days by Mary Hopkin. And number one was Hey Jude by the Beatles. 1976, Rockin' Me by Steve Miller was number two. A sad story with, I guess it happened around Cleveland, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon
No,
Lightfoot.
it didn't happen around Cleveland. It happened up in Lake Superior.
Okay. Which is next to what lake?
It's between Canada and Michigan.
Michigan, okay.
It's way up. It's the Upper Peninsula.
Okay, thank you for giving me that knowledgeable thing. By the way, the video I watched, I guess it split in half or something.
Yep.
And then went down under. All right.
And the water is so cold that no bodies came up.
But number one was If You Leave Me Now by Chicago. Do we worry about 1984? Yeah, because I was a Prince fan. Did you like Prince?
Yeah.
Purple Rain. And number two was Wake Me Up Before You Go Go by Wham. And I know you liked Willie Nelson. He had the best country tune back then in 1984. City of New Orleans. Okay? Been there and done that. I love visiting New Orleans, but I don't think I could live there. Could you live in New Orleans?
Yep.
Oh, you'd be on Bourbon Street every day, wouldn't you?
No.
Okay. The food,
No,
the restaurants?
Bourbon Street's just commercial. Yeah. I mean, it's just a commercial street.
All right. And if I would take you there, I would take you to Brennan's. You ever hear of Brennan's?
Yes, I have.
It's a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah, I know.
And I would take you there because I think you're a 5-star
I
executive
see.
producer.
I see.
I'm paying you a compliment.
I know. I know.
All right,
Thank
you ready
you.
to take a break?
Yes.
We're going to Steubenville and say hello to Reno, okay? The Big Red in action tonight. We'll be right back.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. State Attorney General Patrick Morrissey has joined with his counterpart in 6 other states in preparation to file a petition to challenge the Biden administration's vaccine mandate for private sector workers. The petition seeks a review of the emergency temporary standard issued by OSHA and requiring vaccination or weekly testing of tens of millions of American employees. They are also seeking a stay on the effect of the mandate. The coalition challenges the OSHA order is unconstitutional and an overreach of the agency's power. The case is filed in the 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Charleston Mayor Amy Goodwin, meanwhile, says a program to encourage city employees to get vaccinated is working.
Nearly 80% of eligible City of Charleston workers have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Mayor Amy Schuler Goodwin says much of that has to do with an incentive program they ran from September to October. The city took American Rescue Plan funding and offered $750 to each employee who got vaccinated. Goodwin says on Thursday's Metro News Talk Line, many workers wanted to protect themselves and the people they serve.
They work in the community. We are, boots on the ground working day to day with our community. And so I think it says a lot about them and them wanting to really be safe.
The mayor says in addition to COVID vaccines, dozens of booster shots and flu shots have been administered at clinics. I'm Carrie Hudasek, WVMetroNews.com.
Cabell Huntington Hospital officials say despite an ongoing strike, they remain under normal patient schedules today. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. A coalition of faith leaders and activists are gathered this hour at Senator Joe Manchin's office in Charleston for a prayer vigil. Those groups, many of them from out of state, say they're asking Manchin to support the Biden administration's Build Back Better Act and to end the filibuster on the Voting Rights Act. Another sign of the times in Fayette County, where the school board has voted to close Golly Bridge Elementary School at the end of this school year. The student population there has dwindled, and repairs to the aging building are too costly. The students next year would be sent to Valley PK-8 School in Smithers. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. The NCAA banned the Oklahoma State men's basketball team from postseason competition this week, and emotional head coach Mike Boynton expressed his disappointment.
I'm disappointed, disgusted, appalled, frustrated, but somewhere in Indianapolis, there's a group of people celebrating.
The penalty stems from the 2017 FBI investigation into college basketball corruption. The NASCAR Cup Series will run their season finale Sunday at Phoenix. 4 drivers have a shot at the championship: Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. Elliott is the defending series champion. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ucora. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. TNC and privacy policy found at ucora.com/TNC.
UTIs are the worst. One year, I had 8 UTIs. If you get UTIs, you understand how awful the cycle is. I was taking all the precautions, and Cranberry products just didn't work. It was hard on me and my husband.
I hated seeing her in pain, and I wanted to help.
We're Jenna and Spencer, founders of Ucora.
With my background in biochemistry and our shared frustration over UTIs, we were inspired to start Ucora.
We make UTI relief products and innovative urinary tract supplements that give you a way to be proactive. At Ucora, we've helped over 200,000 people get their lives back. We have a money-back guarantee, so you can try risk-free. If you're not happy, you'll get a full refund. You have nothing to lose. Try Ucora today. Get 30% off Ucora when you text HEALTH to 64,000. Text HEALTH to 64,000 to get 30% off. That's HEALTH to 64000.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available in West Virginia and distributed locally by wine and beverage merchants. With its toasty and biscuit-like malt flavors blended perfectly with hoppy freshness, it's bound to become one of your new favorite craft beers. Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available at local retailers. Please don't drink and drive, and drink responsibly. From your friends at Wine and Beverage Merchant.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
This is Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
The news that 5 to 11-year-old children can now get COVID-19 vaccines is a fantastic development for our school communities. For the first time, just about every student and staff member can be protected from the virus. Let's all do our part to take the vaccine if we're eligible and keep masking, distancing, and sanitizing while we wait for more people to have immunity.
Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education
Hi,
Association.
it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for a statewide talk line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, oh, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through.
Nice song by Dean Martin, The Pride of Steubenville. This guy's the pride of Steubenville. I know if I need anything in Steubenville, I call my man, Reno. Well, let's see. The Big Red, 9-2, will face the Kingston Bombers, 10-1. The bus leaves soon, so I don't want to take too much of Reno's time because he's got to prepare his team for a trip. How long will it take you to get to Kingston, Coach?
2 hours.
Okay. I know nothing about the Bombers. You're going to tell me about them.
In 2018, they won the Division III state championship. 19, they went 11-2. And the COVID, they only played 7 games. They played 7 games. We played 8. And then this year, they're 10-1. They played games 4 through 10 without their quarterback. And I thought they navigated a great job through that part of their schedule without their quarterback, and they got him back for the first playoff game last week. So both teams are going up there off of a win, and like I told our players just before they went to eat, when we lost to DeSales, we could have hung that baby up at 5-2 because 5-2 is just not what we're used to. But they came back even stronger. Now we've won 4 in a row, so we're going up there with a positive mental attitude, and that's very important in football.
Have you ever played the Bombers before?
No.
Okay. What has impressed you? I guess you got their last couple of games. What has impressed you about the Bombers' offense?
They have 5 receivers. 4 of them have over 200, have over 20 catches. So that means they're spreading the ball around their receivers. Their tailback has 1,200 yards rushing. So it's telling me that we have to be ready to. We can't cheat on one. We got to stop the run, and then tackle the pass. We're not going to be able to stop both of them, but if we can tackle the pass and not give them any yards after contact, then I'll be a pretty happy guy. So that's our goal defensively, is to stop the run and tackle the pass.
You'll be a happy guy, like Dean Martin says. When you're smiling, it means you're happy, right?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes you can be happy inside and not show it outside.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've seen you smile, though, before. I don't think I've seen you laugh, but I've also seen you after a loss. I know not to say anything to you.
No, that's not true.
I know. You're a lovable guy. Hey, what about their defense going up against your offense?
They play an even front defense. They don't do a whole lot of blitzing, but they have a lot of speed defensively. They're much bigger offensively than they are defensively. And the speed, and they don't do a whole lot of things, but they do what they do very well. They're very well coached.
All right. Safe to say you need some long drives when you have the football? Take some time off the clock?
Well, I like to have a couple long drives, but I like to have a couple one-play drives, too, for a touchdown. That'd be nice.
Okay. 1 or 2 big keys to a win on the road against a very good Bombers team.
I think the main thing to win on the road, the most important thing, is that when you leave that locker room to play, it's an even field. And I know we're playing at their place, but once that ball's kicked off, we have to realize that that field's the same as our field, and that's the most important thing. The second most important thing, and the most important thing in football, is protect the football. When we have it on offense, we want to protect it. When they have it on offense, we want to grab it.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. Okay, natural grass or artificial stuff?
They're artificial.
Okay, all right. Can we look ahead? If a W tonight for the Big Red, what's coming up next week?
The winner of Dover and Aurora.
Dover? Oh, I'm tired of hearing that name, Dover. Well, you're familiar with them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
We're
good
familiar
luck.
with both. We've played both of them.
Yep, okay. Well, it starts with a win tonight, and then we'll
Yeah.
just talk about next week. Have a safe trip. Come back home with a W so we can talk next week, okay, Coach?
It's always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. You take it easy.
I will. Thank you very much, and good luck. I'm tired. Every year I got to talk about Dover. You know, they're a good team, like Steubenville, good team. Okay. In case you missed it, we had where's the score? We had this game on the radio last night. I think Wheeling Central scored 48 points according to Bifaru in the second quarter, 55-17. Every time Oak Glen would turn the ball over, a play or two later, Wheeling Central scored. Okay. All right, that's good. That's good stuff. It's about a quarter till. Let's take a break, and we're going to tell you what's going to be happening in college football. I got all of the latest line. I'm going to prep you for 2:35 for when the legend comes on, and we'll check out the pros, and we'll just check out everything. I'm going to watch Virginia Tech at Boston College tonight because I spent a semester at BC. Figured out, you know what? I don't like it here. I just thought it'd be cool because I'm Catholic. I get to spend some time at a Catholic school. Yeah. I think it was only like $300 back then. But that's an interesting matchup. Virginia Tech, not a bad team. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they look bad. Boston College seems to be in a lot of games, but they seem to lose the close ones. But that's coming up tonight on ESPN. Which one is it? They got so many. ESPN2. All right, we'll be right back right after this. Friday afternoon, we are the Watchdog, and we are the voice of the Ohio Valley.
This is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Talk Line. I have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
You want sports talk? We got the goods all night long. Tune into Sports Map Radio. Evenings and overnights on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog.
2, 3, 4. Ooh. 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 Well, my heart knows it better than I know myself, so I'm gonna let it do all the talking. Ooh. Ooh. I came across a place in the middle of nowhere with a big black horse and a cherry tree. Ooh. Ooh. I felt a little fear upon my back. I said, don't look back, just keep on walking. Ooh. Ooh. But the big black horse said, look this way. He said, hey, that day, will you marry me? Ooh. Ooh. But I said,
In case you missed it, OBJ, Mr. Beckham, no longer Cleveland Brown. He was released earlier today. I think we all expected that. So maybe some of the cancer will leave that locker room because I'm sure it affected a lot of players. You know, he had a lot of friends on that team. So I don't know. It's all screwed up. Hey, it's the Cleveland Browns. You know, am I ever going to say they're close to being perfect? I don't know. If they don't have key players injured, they find ways of losing games. I want to see them do well, you know, especially since we carry the Browns. But he's gone. And Lola and yours truly, we learned that a team that could claim him, because they have the first right of refusal, or, yeah, we want him, the Detroit Lions. I can't see him playing in Detroit. Of course, money talks, so that's the big story. And I think the big story in hockey was that great game played last night in overtime. Chris Letang, coming back from, being on the COVID-19 protocol, scored his first goal of the year. He just snuck it in there, you know. And it's too bad the fans had to wait because the review lasted about 7 or 8 minutes, but the puck was in the net, and it was a big win. Philadelphia, they played the night before. They recorded a shutout, so that's 3 points in 2 games. I'll take that any day. Any day. And we're down to one unbeaten team. That's the Florida team. 9-0. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, and they have an overtime. So, where are your, Lola, I'll check it out. Where are your Red Wings? 11 games, 4-5-2. That's not bad. Be a great year if they can finish at 500 or above. Okay, we got Ohio State, 15-point favorites over Nebraska. That might be a trap game. Nebraska's been in a lot of close games, but close means nothing in football. Okay, maybe checkers or chess. You ever play checkers or chess, Lola?
Yes.
Which one are you good at?
Checkers. I'm not good at chess.
Oh, okay. You play poker or 21 or anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. But yeah, it's Florida. They take a lot of penalties, but they find ways of winning. I mean, they got stud power. A lot of all-stars, a pretty good goaltender. But I keep reminding myself it's November 5th. Got a long way to go. That's like Tampa Bay. When I started watching them earlier this year, I said, wow, there's something wrong there. Well, the big thing is they're missing the big guys on the third line because they became free agents and they're no longer with Tampa Bay. That third line won a lot of games for Tampa. All right? A surprising team might be Edmonton, okay? But they got some star power. They're 8-1, all right? One of the worst teams is Seattle, but they have good excuse. We are Kraken, We are an expansion team. Nobody cares if we have a losing season. But they didn't say that about the Vegas Knights a couple of years ago, when in their first year, they went places. And one baseball note, there's been a lot of talk in the Berg about let's bring back Andrew McCutchen. Great guy, a fan favorite. I don't want him back. I don't think he wants to come back to Pittsburgh. He can go to a team that's competing for a playoff spot and make a lot of money. The Pirates aren't going to pay him a lot of money, I would like to see Anthony Rizzo, outstanding defensive first baseman. His eyes light up every time he comes to the ballpark, whether it be a member of the Cubs or whatever. He seems to light up the scoreboard by hitting a home run over that short right field fence. I think it'd be perfect for the Pirates. But would he want to come to a team that's rebuilding? Oh, I hate this word, retooling. I don't think so. All right, back to the billing, back to the line. Pitt, 21-point favorites over Duke. Pitt trying to recover from their bad performance against Miami. They have 2 losses. Penn State, this is a trap game. They're favored by 10, and they play at Maryland. Michigan State, 3-point favorites over the Boilermakers of Purdue. We know that Purdue can play like they're the best team in the nation. Oklahoma State and West Virginia in Morgantown, 3.5-point favorites for the Cowboys. I haven't heard from anyone, so the next break I got to look up this stat. And that's how many jerseys have been retired at WVU football.
Well, Majors was number 9, not 19.
Oh. I thought somebody told me it was the guy behind you. Donnie told me 19.
Well.
But I'll put myself under the bus because I made a mistake.
I'll look.
I'd like to know what the other jerseys are. I'm thinking Sam Huff is a shoe-in, but I'll Google that or talk to the lady on my cell phone, who sometimes gives me the wrong information. 5. I thought there'd be more than 5 jerseys. Who was the linebacker that I thought they retired? Darryl somebody? I don't know. All that great team in Buffalo Bills. Darryl Talley. I think his jersey's retired.
Major's number was 9.
9? Okay. But Major will have number 9 retired at a special ceremony in Morgantown. And I'm thinking Sam Huff, Darryl Talley, I'm pretty sure. How about Jeff Hosteller? You know? I don't know. If somebody knows, please give me a call or tell Lola. 304-214-1600. I'd like to know. I know I'll find out tomorrow, okay? Because I want to watch the game. Yeah. Okay, Oklahoma State favored by 3.5 over West Virginia. Lola's Michigan Wolverines, 20-point favorites over those Hoosiers out of Indiana. Now let's turn the page to the pros. I'm watching this one. The Battle of Ohio. Cincinnati hosting Cleveland. The Bengals will try and recover after that awful loss to the Jets. But I enjoyed that game, especially with that kid at quarterback, White. First game, he said before, during the week, media week or whatever, I want to have fun. Boy, did he have fun. Buffalo at Jacksonville. I'm mentioning that because I guess Buffalo has some injuries. You never know with Jacksonville at home. 14.5-point favorites. I was really, when I saw the schedule out a couple of months ago, Kansas City hosting Green Bay. Are you kidding me? That could be a sneak peek of the Super Bowl.
Do you want those numbers?
Yes, Lola.
All right.
Number 9, our friend.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
All right. Bruce Bosley for football, number 77. Sam Huff, number 75. Hot Rod Hudley, 33 for basketball.
No.
Ira Eric Rogers, number 21 for football. Rod Thorne, 44 for basketball. And
Okay, do we just have the 5 football players, counting Major? Is that listed?
I just read them all to you.
Yeah, but you gave him basketball jerseys.
Well,
Yeah, don't worry about it.
1,
There's
2,
somebody on the line, maybe they know.
3.
4.
Major would be 5.
Okay.
Oh, 4.
4.
And the other one is Jerry West.
Well, we got Kyle Wiggs coming up at 2. He should know. If not, we'll find out. I just want to know. Yeah. All right. Oh, basketball, there's quite a few. Sam Huff, I was right about that. Major Harris, I was right about that. Okay. Darryl Talley, I don't know. Maybe Kyle will know. Yeah. Is that somebody? Okay. All right. I think we covered college football and we covered, Steelers are favored by 6.5 over Chicago. The Bears, who knows what Bears team will show up, okay? Maybe if they had Walter Payton in there, Singletary. The coach, not that he made a difference in 1985 when they were crowned Super Bowl champs, and I thought they'd be back there over and over again, but that didn't happen. But Pittsburgh, 6.5 favorite. Okay, that's it. We got it covered.
Well, you were I was on the phone. What were you looking at me for? Did you want to answer about something?
No, I thought somebody called Lola to tell you what jersey.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I had them all right, and he said I had them right.
You had 5 football players.
No. 4?
Major Harris will be the 5th football player to
Okay,
have his
all
jersey
right,
retired.
Okay, all right, then
Kyle Wiggs will help us. He'll help me. All right? And then after that, we have the legend. Yeah, ooh. Other than that, I don't care. I should have worn my shirt today. I don't care. It's not life and death. All right, about another hour to go, and then I'm out of here for a while, or maybe longer. I'm Bill DeFabio. Across the way, Lola Miller. Hopefully you know who you are.
I felt a little fear upon my back. I said, don't look back, just keep on walking. When the big black car said, look this way, he said, hey, that day, will will you marry me? Ooh.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The funeral of General Colin Powell held at Washington National Cathedral today. That service ending just moments ago, honoring the 84-year-old who dedicated his life to military and public service. His son Michael, and former FCC chair, spoke about his father's commitment to family too.
Our parents taught us right. They taught us wrong. And they taught us to take responsibility for our actions and never to blame others.
Powell was the first black person to serve as Joint Chiefs of Staff and later Secretary of State. His career also marked by his support of the Iraq War and using what turned out to be false intelligence. Powell later called it a huge mistake. Former President George W. Bush, along with former President Barack Obama and President Biden, among those in attendance. Earlier, the president touted the October jobs report, the government showing employers hired 531,000 workers last month. The president said more work is needed. He called on Congress to pass both his Build Back Better agenda and bipartisan infrastructure bill. The House is expected to vote on both as early as today. Pfizer released early trial results of its antiviral COVID pill. It shows it reduced the risk of hospitalization or death by nearly 90%. In Georgia, a jury of 11 white members and 1 black member are listening to opening arguments in day 1 of the trial of 3 white men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery.
Greg McMichael assumed the worst.
Prosecutor Linda Dunkowski said in her opening statement, Greg McMichael, his adult son Travis, and their neighbor Roddy Bryan did everything on assumptions.
Defendant Bryan sees Mr. Arbery running away from the white pickup truck. And he makes an assumption, because he has absolutely no idea what's been going on.
She said the men assumed Ahmaud Arbery must have committed a crime.
ABC's Aaron Katursky reporting. You're listening to ABC News.
That's a no-whip, high-foam, 170-degree, sugar-free gingerbread latte.
Ah, yes. It's gingerbread latte season at Duchesne's Coffee Shop. He'll need a seasonal barista before his cookie starts to crumble.
Anything else? Oh, there's a list.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When a nasty cold keeps you up all night, Vicks NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night that sounds like this into a night that sounds more like this. Ah, that's better. NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold, medicine. Use as directed.
COVID cases ramping up across Europe again.
Despite high vaccination rates, coronavirus is again spreading from Russia to Britain. At a press conference in Geneva, senior WHO official Maria Van Kerkel.
Right now, we are seeing increases where we shouldn't be. There's been more than 55% increase in cases over the last 4 weeks in Europe, where there's ample supply of vaccines, where there's ample supply of tools.
Boosters are being encouraged in many of those countries, while some are bringing back limited restrictions. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
In Israel, about 2,000 ultra-Orthodox Jews gathering at the Western Wall in Jerusalem to protest against a women's group that holds monthly prayers at the holy site. Women of the Wall has campaigned for equality of worship at the Western Wall, where men and women pray in separate areas. Anat Hoffman is executive director of Israel Religious Action Center.
I marched to the wall carrying a Torah mantle from Beverly Hills because they're walking with me today, fighting for equality and religious pluralism and justice.
Pope Francis has selected an Italian nun to take on the city's #2 position in the governorship of Vatican City. 52-year-old Sister Raffaella Petrini is the first woman in that role and the highest-ranking woman in the Vatican. This is ABC News.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped below 3%, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big. You could lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got to act now. Call us today at 833-8-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This is ONN.
In the fight against COVID-19, Governor Mike DeWine says the vaccination of children aged 5 to 11 is well underway in Ohio. ONN's Dave James reports.
DeWine said yesterday that Ohio has more than 300,000 pediatric vaccines either already in the state or on the way, and hundreds of younger kids were vaccinated Wednesday, the first day of eligibility.
We had officially 854 Ohio children aged 5 to 11 get the shot. Those numbers always lag somewhat, so probably a little higher than that, but we're starting.
They're available at local health departments through doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, and community health centers. Dave James, ONN News.
And Otsego Local Schools near Bowling Green, like many districts around Ohio, is dealing with a shortage of bus drivers. Amy Steigerwald with affiliate station WTOL-TV in Toledo reports.
They have a number of employees who have stepped up to the plate this year to help make sure all their bus routes get filled. Not only do they have their normal bus drivers, but 3 custodians, 2 cooks, 2 paraprofessionals, and yes, even their superintendent have gotten their CDL, and that is the certification you need to drive a school bus to help out on routes when they are needed. And these people don't drive every single day, but it does help when someone calls out sick or when there is something like a field trip happening. Amy Steigerwald in Toledo.
For a look at state news anytime, visit ONNradio.com. I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Stand by. You're back to live and local programming in moments on The Watchdog.
Attorney Tom McIntyre.
Life. It may knock you down, but you don't have to stay that way. I'm Tom McIntyre. I'm a bankruptcy attorney, and I'm here to help you. Give us a call, and we'll send you a copy of my free book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. It's an interesting read, and it'll explain bankruptcy to you like no other book does. Give us a call. We're here to help.
Call Thomas E. McIntyre and Associates at 304-232-8600. Allow us to help put you back on the road to financial success.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
There's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your football Friday. Plenty of sunshine to go around with a daytime high near 50 degrees. Overnight low rather chilly, near 28 under partly cloudy skies. Plenty of sunshine again for your Saturday, with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
The rooms were so much colder then. My father was a soldier then, and times were very hard when I was young. When I was young, I smoked my first cigarette at 10, and for girls I had a bad yen, and I had quite a ball when I was young.
Well, we got the football jerseys, retired, fiasco. It's all on the line. Here we go. Let's welcome Kyle Wiggs. Kyle, 4 or 5 football jerseys have been retired?
5.
5. Okay, Sam Huff, Bruce Bosley, am I getting that right? Bosley?
Bruce Bosley.
Ira Rogers, never heard of him. Saturday, it's going to be Major Harris, number 9.
Right.
And you told me Daryl Talley, number 90?
Yeah, Daryl Talley's got retired earlier this year.
Okay. He won't be honored Saturday, right?
No,
Okay.
they've already done that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, man, because there was a little bit of mix-up in my brain cells. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought maybe it would have been, who'd we talk about earlier, the quarterback? Jeff Hostetler.
Well, Hostetler started at Penn State. He didn't play his whole career here.
That's true. That's true.
I think probably the next will be Pat White.
Oh, I forgot about Pat. Yeah, I remember him too. Good player. A lot of good players. I thought there'd be more than 4 or 5, but, you know. Don't ask me about Pitt. I think they've retired almost all the jerseys. All right, especially from that 76 national championship. Hey, it's Oklahoma State, favored by 3.5 over West Virginia. You got the home field. Will that help you to beat the Cowboys?
Sure it will. I mean, anytime you avoid that trip. But, yeah, the home crowd, I think it'll be I think it'll be close to full. The weather's going to be good. Last week it rained all day, and that kept a lot of people away. But I think the weather's going to be perfect. And you've got number 11 coming to town, and Oklahoma State's beaten West Virginia 6 times in a row. So, you know, there's a lot of storylines here.
Oh, yeah. What has impressed you with them? Their defense, their offense?
Well, their defense. Their offense is coming around. Spencer Sanders struggled early.
Yeah.
But he's coming around, and Mike Gundy said something interesting earlier this week. They're one of few teams, certainly in this league and maybe in the country, where they've played defense well every week. You know, you can't say that about a lot of teams where they played a good defensive game every single week, and Oklahoma State's like that. And Gundy credited the defense with keeping the whole team, including his quarterback, afloat. You know, Sanders' numbers aren't great. He's thrown for about 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
But the coach pointed out that Oklahoma State used to be one of those teams that just tried to outscore people. You know, back in the basketball on turf days in the Big 12 when West Virginia played Baylor and it was 70-63. You know, back in those days, Oklahoma State was right in the middle of that. But now they're more of a defensive-oriented team, and, you know, the entire complexion of their team has changed. And, again, Gundy credited with the defense keeping the entire team, including their quarterback, afloat. You know, it's a different mindset where, you know, instead of trying to score every time you have the ball, as the coach pointed out, sometimes, you know, you get into a situation where you're behind the chains and, you know, the defense is playing so well, maybe a punt isn't that terrible of an outcome. So that's kind of where Oklahoma State's coming from this year.
They've won 11 in a row over the years?
They've won 6 in a row.
6 in a row, okay. When's the last time you beat them at home?
Oh, West Virginia beat Oklahoma State the first 2 times in conference play after West Virginia joined the league. So I guess if you do the math on that, it would have been 2017, 2016.
Are they the best team not named Oklahoma in the Big 12 this year?
Well, you know, I'm becoming more and more convinced about Baylor. You know, Baylor just destroyed West Virginia. The Mountaineers, you know, we said at the time it was a no-show, but, you know, maybe Baylor's just that good. But again, Oklahoma State, Baylor and Oklahoma State are built similarly. Oklahoma State's probably got a few more offensive weapons, so I guess that's a long answer to your question, but probably I guess the answer is yes. Yeah. Oklahoma State right now is at least the second best team in this conference behind Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Baylor plays at TCU, and Baylor favored by 6.5. Okay, all right.
Yeah, Baylor's already beaten Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's beaten Iowa State. Oklahoma State still has, of course, Oklahoma left, and I believe Texas. I think they have Texas. I know they have Oklahoma left because that's the last game of the regular season for them.
Okay, that's good. We got that straightened out. Thank goodness. I didn't want to harp on that and the jerseys. But so, what are the keys for West Virginia to win at home against a solid Oklahoma State football team?
Well, West Virginia played really, really well defensively last week against Iowa State and made Brock Purdy, who was red hot coming into the game, look average. And Oklahoma's got a running back, Jalen Warren, who's about 220 pounds, not a huge guy, more like a fire plug type guy, but he runs violently. I mean, he's just a physical runner. And West Virginia, last week, Iowa State came in with Breece Hall, a good running back, but a great quarterback. This week, if West Virginia can focus on Warren, slow him down and stop the run, I think they've got a better chance. But, they got to 30 points against Iowa State against that defense, and nobody thought they could. So I'm not sure they're going to need to score 30 points this week to win, but it's going to be much, much more difficult to get 4 touchdowns like West Virginia did last week. So, they're going to have to obviously not turn the ball over. They're going to have to find a way to score on this Oklahoma State defense and focus on Jalen Warren, stop Jalen Warren.
Would help West Virginia if they scored early and score a lot?
Well, yeah, that's the formula. But again, they've got it turned around. After that Baylor game on the road, it looked like this team was left for dead. But they've won 2 in a row. They upset Iowa State last week, and you get another opportunity for an upset against Oklahoma State this week.
Okay, all right. Let's switch gears. Basketball. Tuesday. Is that November 9th? Yeah. West Virginia begins the regular season against Oakland. Is it next Friday? They host the Pitt Panthers.
Friday.
They host the Pitt Panthers. How do the Mountaineers look like? What do they look like in hoops?
Well, a lot of questions. A lot of questions.
Well, you got a couple minutes, so go ahead.
With Deuce McBride's gone, all conference, would have been a Player of the Year candidate in the Big 12 this year if he would have stayed. He's in the NBA. And Derek Culver left. So a lot falls on Taz Sherman, who had 29 in an exhibition. He's going to have to score. And Isaiah Cottrell is a big man who showed some really good flashes early last year, but suffered an injury that knocked him out for the year. He's back, looks healthy, looks like he can be the guy inside. So Cottrell has to establish himself again, still is a pretty young player. As crazy as it sounds, West Virginia, the thing they probably did the worst offensively under Huggins is shoot. And he's going to have a team full of shooters this year. Taz Sherman and Sean McNeil in particular, and Jalen Bridges from down the road in Fairmont. Again, the complexion of the offense changes. Last year, remember, they started the year with both Derek Culver and Oscar Tshiebwe inside. They were trying to play those two big guys. Tshiebwe quit, went to Kentucky. Culver was awesome. He's gone now. So you've got to reestablish something inside, and that's where the early season question marks lie. Who takes over inside, and can this team hit enough shots to stay in games offensively?
What kind of bench will they have?
Oh, they'll have a deep bench. He's got players. It's just a matter of sorting things out. I mean, they've got plenty of depth. They like their recruiting class. They do have a number of guys back, so it'll be a deep team. Eventually you got to whittle that, get down to 8 or 9 guys, but they'll be one of the deeper teams in the Big 12 Conference. It's just that front line talent that they had with McBride and Culver isn't there yet. Not to say that some of these guys couldn't develop. Like Taz Sherman has to develop into an all-conference player for this team to help, or for this team to win. And Isaiah Cottrell or somebody inside has to develop into one of the top 10 or 15 players in the league for this team to win. It's a tough league, man. You look at the preseason polls, you got 3 teams out of this league in the top 10.
Yeah. What poll? I don't know if it was the media poll, the coaches poll. West Virginia was what, 5th and 6th?
Yeah, somewhere in there. I mean, that's about right. Like I said, you've got the 3 teams in the top 10. You had the coach jump from Texas Tech to Texas, so they're up there. Kansas is always up there. Some of the teams have come back to earth a little bit. Cade Cunningham was the first pick in the draft. He left for Oklahoma State, so they're going to finish near the bottom probably. Iowa State's going to finish near the bottom. West Virginia's not down there, but I don't think they're at the very top of this league either. So 4 through 8, 4 through 7, it's kind of who knows at this point. That's why you got to start playing games, right, to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Huggins is scratching his head knowing, I got the talent, but I don't know where I can put these guys. So that's a nice thing to have, but, you got to – it's not like, last couple of years where you had the talent, you were doing well, and a lot of people thought, what was it last year? Did they go to Sweet 16?
Yeah, they made the NCAA tournament, lost in the second round to Buddy Boeheim and Syracuse.
Oh, yeah, I remember
that.
Buddy,
Was an upset.
Yeah, yes, it was. But it's nice that you're going to be playing Pitt next Friday, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's back forever,
Yep.
The football series gets renewed, although that's going to be pretty difficult to keep that going. In fact, it won't. It's going to be a long time before they play again after this contract runs out. But there's no reason Pitt and West Virginia shouldn't play in basketball every year.
Yeah, next year in football, is it at Heinz Field?
I don't know off the top of my head. I could try and look it up real quick, but I'm not.
I think
right
it
off
is.
The top of my head, I'm not sure.
I think it is. I'm not sure. But they ought to play that every year. Once in Morgantown, then you go to Heinz Field, and I hope it's Heinz Field because Pitt doesn't draw well. I saw that in '76 when they won a national championship.
They draw well when West Virginia's there.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I want them there because there'll be mostly West Virginia fans in the stands.
Right. Here you go. September 3rd, 2022, West Virginia at Pitt.
All right.
And September 16th, 2023, Pitt at West Virginia. September 14th, 2024, West Virginia at Pitt. And then September 13th, 2025, Pitt at West Virginia. So
next 4 years.
It's 4-game series that starts next year at Pitt. 22 and 24 at Pitt, 23 and 25 in Morgantown.
And who knows, in a couple of years, West Virginia may be a member of the ACC. That could happen.
Yeah, it could. We can only hope. That's really the only thing that makes sense anymore. But it looks like the Big 12 is going to stay together. It looked like it was going to fold up shop, but it looks like the Big 12 expanded and brought some teams in, and it looks like it's going to stick around. Now, if West Virginia at any moment got the opportunity to join the ACC, they'd jump at it. But you have to be invited, right?
Yeah, that's true. You have to be invited. Hopefully, I don't know what the mindset is, the folks that run the athletic departments at North Carolina or Duke or whatever, but they should, be wise and say West Virginia would make this a stronger conference. And to me, it would be like, hey, it's like the Big East again, which I thought was one of the best conferences of all time a few years ago.
Yeah, you're right. Best basketball conference was without a doubt.
Yeah. I had on the air yesterday my colleague of 6 years, Dick Grote, the former Cardinal.
Yeah, I saw it was his birthday yesterday, right?
Yeah, we both celebrate November 4th. Yeah, we called each other. And, I talked to his daughter earlier in the week. I said, is he okay mentally to talk on the radio? Oh, he would look, well, he's told me in the past he didn't want to do talk shows. But on the birthday, he always, I could know to keep him on 10 minutes. And he talked about, at first, he wasn't happy that the Pirates traded him to the Cardinals. Then he realized, wow, these Cardinals pay a lot of money. He was seeing what Lou Brock, Kurt Flood, Tim McCarver, Bob Gibson were making compared to what he was making in Pittsburgh. And, you know, I think he did Budweiser commercials. He got a World Series ring in 1964. So, yeah, he talked about the Cardinals. So those were great Cardinal teams, except for the 67 one that beat my Red Sox. But we won't go there. I watched your old Cardinal outfielder today, Pujols. They showed him in a Cardinal uniform because there's talk that Freddie Freeman, you know, might not be back with Atlanta, although he always wanted to be an Atlanta Brave. I think that was the same with Pujols, right? Didn't he want to finish his career in St. Louis?
Probably. I mean, if there's no chance for that, unless DH is a factor. You know, unless they bring the DH to the National League.
Yeah, you don't want to see that, do you?
I don't personally.
No, I don't.
But I'm
either.
old, you know.
I never thought of that. You know, Freeman, if there is the DH in the National League, I'm sure people are going to go out of their way to pay him a lot of money. I mean, if he's not happy with $19 million a year, go for it, Freddie. But he was one of my favorite guys, so, you know. So is Posey, who's now retiring. I think his press conference is going on right now in San Francisco. 7 years an All-Star, 3 World Series rings, and physically he took a beating. But what catcher hasn't taken a beating?
Tools of ignorance.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And your guy's coming back for another year, right? Is he going to be 40?
Molina's right around. Yeah, Molina's right around 40, and Adam Wainwright's over 40.
Oh boy, the good old boys. Hey man, thank you for the update on the jerseys. I'm glad we got that straightened out because I was screwing that up. And I look forward to talking to you next Friday about Pitt basketball with West Virginia. How's that?
All right.
All right. Have a safe weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, those Cardinal teams in the mid-'60s were great, especially when they beat the Yankees in the '64 World Series. And, you know, they beat the Red Sox. Bob Gibson, I think he won 3 games against the Red Sox. It was a good World Series, though, you know. But those Cardinal teams were good. Still the best franchise, I think, in Major League Baseball. Certainly the best fan base. I mean, they average over $3 million a year, you know. Well, they don't have a football team. But, yeah, the Cardinals are pretty good. They know how to run the ship, so to speak. So maybe the Pirates can be the Cardinals down the road. They don't rebuild, retool. Oh, boy. All right. There was something else I wanted to mention on this date. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. I mentioned, yeah, I wrote it down. I circled it and crossed it out. George Foreman. How about that? Yeah, at 45, he wins a championship. IBF and the WBA. Yeah. And then, of course, making a lot of money with his grill. Okay. That's about it. Lola, what game do we have tonight? I don't have my sheet with me.
I think it's John Marshall.
Oh, that's right, John Marshall. Okay, JM. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. We will crown a champion in all these, I don't know, what is it, 8 teams or 12 teams or 16 teams in Ohio? I don't know. I get confused. I get confused with the WPIL. You know, we used to have 4 classes. Now we got 6. I think there's one team that's 4 and 6 or something in the playoffs. I don't like it, but you know what? It gives kids another weekend or another Friday night lights, and that's what it's all about the kids. All right? In case you missed it, it was an easy night last night for Wheeling Central. Yeah, they played on a Thursday night game, and they beat Oak Glen 51-20 or whatever it was. It was over real quick. According to Biffer, you know, if I need anything to talk about, it's Wheeling Central. He knows it. Wheeling Central scored 48 points in the second period, 55-17 against Oak Glen. And the big news at WVU, there'll be a celebration tomorrow, big-time celebration, if WVU can beat the Cowboys out of Oklahoma State, but the retirement of one of the most popular guys, not only in West Virginia, but in the Pittsburgh area, Major Harris, and they're going to retire his number 9. Who's next? Who do we talk about? Pat White. Oh, he was a great player at WVU. All right. But I remember as a kid, Sam Huff. And then after his career, I used to watch the commercials with him. He was a spokesperson for Marriott. And, of course, at that time, Marriott was the hotel for the teams in the National Football League. but Sam Huff was their spokesperson. Okay, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with the legend. Just ask him. Bobby the Legend. We'll talk about the odds favoring or not favoring teams in college football and, of course, the National Football League.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. State Attorney General Patrick Morrissey has joined with his counterpart in 6 other states in preparation to file a petition to challenge the Biden administration's vaccine mandate for private sector workers. The petition seeks a review of the emergency temporary standard issued by OSHA and requiring vaccination or weekly testing of tens of millions of American employees. They are also seeking a stay on the effect of the mandate. The coalition challenges the OSHA order is unconstitutional and an overreach of the agency's power. The case is filed in the 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Charleston Mayor Amy Goodwin, meanwhile, says a program to encourage city employees to get vaccinated is working.
Nearly 80% of eligible City of Charleston workers have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Mayor Amy Schuler Goodwin says much of that has to do with an incentive program they ran from September to October. The city took American Rescue Plan funding and offered $750 to each employee who got vaccinated. Goodwin says on Thursday's Metro News Talk Line, many workers wanted to protect themselves and the people they serve.
They work in the community. We are, boots on the ground working day to day with our community. And so I think it says a lot about them and them wanting to really be safe.
The mayor says in addition to COVID vaccines, dozens of booster shots and flu shots have been administered at clinics. I'm Carrie Hudasek, WVMetroNews.com.
Cabell Huntington Hospital officials say despite an ongoing strike, they remain under normal patient schedules today. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. A coalition of faith leaders and activists are gathered this hour at Senator Joe Manchin's office in Charleston for a prayer vigil. Those groups, many of them from out of state, say they're asking Manchin to support the Biden administration's Build Back Better Act and to end the filibuster on the Voting Rights Act. Another sign of the times in Fayette County, where the school board has voted to close Golly Bridge Elementary School. At the end of this school year, the student population there has dwindled and repairs to the aging building are too costly. The students next year would be sent to Valley PK-8 School in Smithers. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on The Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. The NCAA banned the Oklahoma State men's basketball team from postseason competition this week, and emotional head coach Mike Boynton expressed his disappointment.
I'm disappointed, disgusted, appalled, frustrated, but somewhere in Indianapolis, there's a group of people celebrating.
The penalty stems from the 2017 FBI investigation into college basketball corruption. The NASCAR Cup Series will run their season finale Sunday at Phoenix. 4 drivers have a shot at the championship: Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. Elliott is the defending series champion. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on The Watchdog.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ucora. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. TNC and privacy policy found at ucora.com/TNC.
UTIs are the worst. One year, I had 8 UTIs. If you get UTIs, you understand how awful the cycle is. I was taking all the precautions, and cranberry products just didn't work. It was hard on me and my husband.
I hated seeing her in pain, and I wanted to help.
We're Jenna and Spencer, founders of Ucora.
With my background in biochemistry and our shared frustration over UTIs, we were inspired to start Ucora.
We make UTI relief products and innovative urinary tract supplements that give you a way to be proactive. At Ucora, we've helped over 200,000 people get their lives back. We have a money-back guarantee, so you can try risk-free. If you're not happy, you'll get a full refund. You have nothing to lose. Try Ucora today. Get 30% off Ucora when you text HEALTH to 64,000. Text HEALTH to 64,000 to get 30% off. That's HEALTH to 64000.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Missing classes, dropping grades, changes in personality?
These can all be signs of youth gambling. Learn how to recognize the warning signs for youth gambling at changethegameohio.org. With high schoolers having twice the rate of gambling problems as adults, it's essential to have a conversation with the teen in your life about the risks of gambling. ChangeTheGameOhio.org has free resources for parents and educators to help prevent youth gambling. This message is brought to you by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it. Hey Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights!
With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio is live on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We talk to some of the region's best business owners while keeping you informed about area events and happenings. You won't believe who I have on next. Tune in and get with the program. Guests from preachers to pros and even some Super Bowl champions. Join me, Bill DeFabio, from noon to 2 for The Variety Show on the Watchdog. I've gone 2.5 hours without mentioning the Nailers, so I can do it now. The Nailers will be in action. All right, Saturday, it's their home opener, Fort Wayne at the Nailers. That's at 7 o'clock. And then the next day on a Sunday, the Nailers are home. No, they're not playing Fort Wayne. They're playing Indianapolis, okay? That's at 4 o'clock, all right? And if you're looking for some books, sports books, you know, I recommend Jim Wexel's Palomalo. Also, on the shelves, because I saw it the other day, I didn't realize that he wrote the book. Bill Cowher, name of his book, Heart and Soul. No, Bill, you can't read, can you? Heart and Steel, story of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the coach, okay? Should be an interesting book. I'll wait 6 months from now. I'm not paying $32 for it. I'll wait till it's like $6.99, okay? We got the Legend on. Are you going to buy the book, Legend?
No, I didn't buy the book, Mr. DeFabio, but I know one thing. Aaron Rodgers got Chicago. Ben Roethlisberger got Cleveland.
What do you mean Ben Roethlisberger got Cleveland?
Yeah, every time he goes up, he seems to win.
Oh, yeah, 50 wins in the state of Ohio for him, yeah. Yeah, that was my first question. Without Aaron Rodgers in that big game against Kansas City, The numbers had to really drop as far as the odds, right?
Believe it or not, that game opened up Sunday. Kansas City -1, and then it went up after the Monday night game when they barely beat the Giants. It was 2.5. Now with the virus hitting Mr. Rogers, it is now Kansas City favored by 7.
Wow. I have 7.5 here, with the total points 48. With Rogers at 48 would probably be, what, 78?
As a matter of fact, you're right. It did drop. It was 52.5, 53.
Yeah. I was looking forward. When I saw the schedule, I goes, wow, I'm not going to miss that game. Now I don't know, because it's not the same Kansas City Chiefs, okay? The Green Bay Packers, yeah, they have a nice record, but now this thing with Rodgers, I don't know. I have no idea. Are you surprised that the league hasn't stepped in with all of this crap that's going on with Green Bay?
It's coming up pretty soon. I can imagine something's going to happen.
Yep. And then there's the Cleveland Browns. They don't have to worry about Mr. Beckham at number 13.
Well, I kind of, I was thinking maybe a reality show ought to start up there pretty soon. Same old clowns. I mean, Browns.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. They paid him a lot of money, and he scored 7 TDs in 3 years. Come on, give me a break, I like the way he celebrates after touchdowns, but he doesn't record too many touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you think of last night's game with all the points scored?
That was, one for one game. The guy got knocked out. That's a shame. But, for what I understand, he went up and down the field. So, meanwhile, the other quarterback for the third stringer didn't play too bad. He had some unbelievable numbers. 30 for 47 for 317 yards.
Yeah. You know who the Packers just signed? He beat the Steelers and surprised everybody, including the bettors a few years ago. Blake Bortles.
Yeah, the Steelers already had their, baggages packed for the championship game, and unfortunately, the Jaguars come in there with Leonard Fournette, who won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. They had the bags packed. They were ready to go to the championship game, and Blake Bortles said, you know what? I'm going to have the best game of my life. And he did. And, of course, Fournette just ran all over the Steelers. And that was a good Steeler team. That was a very good Steeler team. So, now, I wanted to ask you about another game. Cleveland, with all of their crap they've gone through, a Baker Mayfield who's only maybe 75, 80%, going to Cincinnati, playing a Bengals team that looked like the Bungles of old, losing to the Jets last week. What do you think? This will be a good game or a boring game, or maybe I ought to switch channels at halftime?
Well, it's the good thing that Cleveland got going for them. They only gave up the last two games. They gave up 15 points against the Steelers and 14 points respectively. Of course, they're playing. This is the Battle of Ohio. Cleveland is 4-1 against the spread the last 5 road games, but Cincinnati is 1-3 against the spread the last 4 as a home favorite. Wow. So with that in mind, I kind of like the Browns. I like the way their defense is playing. I like the Browns.
Okay. Well, let's go over your schedule. Here we go. A big game in Morgantown. They're going to retire Major Harris's jersey. And you remember him, I'm sure. WVU, Oklahoma State. Who do you like and why?
Oklahoma State's coming in as the number 11th ranked team in the nation. They've been on a roll. Unfortunately, they lost to Iowa State, the team that West Virginia beat last week. Oklahoma State is 6-0 straight up against West Virginia the last 6 games they played. In only week 10 of 13 years that Oklahoma State has played, they are 9-4 straight up. But the good thing that West Virginia has, they are 3-1 at home. I like Oklahoma State in a close one, 24-21. But the last couple of times I've been picking West Virginia, I've been wrong. So hopefully, Mountaineer fans, I'm wrong.
You can't always be right, right? You picked Pitt Duke, and I think it could be a great afternoon for Mr. Pickett, because Duke's bad. But you never know. Duke's at home. Everybody's telling them they stink, or I say they suck, or whatever. Duke's not a trap game, is it?
It could be, because with this line at Pitt favored -21. Duke at home is 4-0 ATS against the spread. Pitt, the last 5 games they played against them against the spread are 5-0. The last 6 on the road against the spread, Pitt is 5-1. You know what? I think University of Pittsburgh is going to win this game, but I think it's going to be a close one, 38-24.
And now you have Auburn and Texas A&M. Why?
Kind of as you're looking down the card this week, Mr. DeFabio, not too many, great college games, but this one stands up. A&M is their 4th best defense in the nation. Auburn is 4-2 straight up the last 6 versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is 8-3 against the spread. Their last 11. Auburn's been playing some great football. I like the Tigers in an upset here, 24-21.
Wow. Okay. All right. You didn't give us a score for Cincinnati and Cleveland, but I think you'll do that in the next 20 seconds.
I'm going to keep it with Cleveland in a low-scoring game because of their defense, 20-13.
And we talked about Green Bay and Kansas City, but we need a score to make it official.
I'm going to give you some facts about that game real quick here. Mahomes has thrown 10 interceptions through 8 games. In the 2 previous seasons, he only threw 11.
Whoa.
Kansas City's defense ranks 29th in total defense and 25th in scoring defense, which isn't too good. No. Green Bay, with Aaron Rodgers getting points, is unbelievable. But I'm going to still go with Jordan Love. I like Green Bay 24-20.
Oh, okay. Pittsburgh and Chicago, Monday night. I think this is a no-brainer. I think the Steelers are going to crush the Bears. But, the Bears have a decent offense, average offense, and a good defense. But I think they're missing some studs. So I want to hear your opinion of that game and that matchup.
And Chicago, the young quarterback out of Ohio State.
Yep.
He's been getting bad. They don't have an offensive line. I mean, he's just getting pummeled at play after play after play. And I heard that Mac's not even making a trip for the Bears. So Pittsburgh last week held Cleveland, their running game, to 96 yards rushing. Chicago is 1-6 against the spread the last 7 November games. Pittsburgh is 1-4 against the spread the last 5 home games. So in a close one, I like the Steelers 31-27.
I know this wasn't on your schedule, but we have a gentleman here named Biff. He's got like 15,000 jobs. He'll probably be wearing his Notre Dame hat tomorrow. I don't think there's any way, Notre Dame's at home, that Navy will sink the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame's favored by what, 21?
Yeah, that's an intriguing game there. And as a matter of fact, ask Biff what he's going to do with his Bears hat. Is that under the desk?
You haven't seen Biff once. I've seen him many times. He's very quiet. If the Bears lose, which they lose with consistency, and Notre Dame, who just beat them? Oregon? Biff didn't talk to anybody for about a week after that Notre Dame loss. But that's okay. He's a diehard fan, and whatever. But I saw that and I goes, "There's no way Navy's going to win." I'll be watching. I hope I can get it on some kind of a network. Army and Air Force. Air Force is favored by 2.5, so that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, those 3 letters on the other station, they're televising that game, by the way.
Okay, all right, I'll be watching that. So, yeah, then I can't wait in a few weeks for Army-Navy, the best rivalry in all of sports. So How about Lola's Michigan team? Favored by 20 over Indiana. Is that enough, 20? Or should it be more or less?
Well, it should be more, but what happened to them with Sparty last week, and of course the Legends picked with Michigan State over Michigan. Sorry about that. Yeah, they're going to be. Mr. Harbaugh's going to be awful mad that they didn't win that game.
Yeah, well, he's got to beat Ohio State. I think he's 0 for forever. But I still think he'll keep his job because although he can't beat the Buckeyes, can't win a national championship, he's a hell of a recruiter, and that helps. So whatever. But there'll be 9,000 crazies at Michigan, Ann Arbor.
Yeah, that's over 100,000, and he signed a 4-year extension too.
Yeah, well, those things you can throw out the window. You can always get paid off, but whatever. Yeah, but of the two Harbaughs, I like John the best, and he's also media friendly. That helps. You know what I mean? Hey, I thought of you the other day, but it's hard to get a hold of you because you're working all the time. And I remember when you weren't working all the time and not paying the bills because you asked me for a loan. No. I'm only kidding, folks. But I'm glad you're working. But I saw next year's World Series odds. The Braves, who just won the World Series, they were at number 5 out of the top 5.
Yeah.
Guess who's number 1? The Dodgers.
Yeah, you figure you got those 2 or 3 teams up there. You got the Yankees, you got the Dodgers. And as a matter of fact, since you're talking baseball, one of my favorite all-time players just retired yesterday, Buster Posey.
He was a great one. He took a beating, though, the last couple of years. But his resume, I think he's Hall of Fame material. Maybe maybe borderline, but you know what? 7 All-Star games, a couple of Gold Gloves, 3 World Series rings. He worked well with the pitchers. Just ask any of the pitchers on the Giants team that won, 3 World Series in 6 years? Yeah, he's there. Not a Johnny Bench, but not everybody can be a Johnny Bench. Or Manny Sanguillen, who was my favorite catcher in the 70s.
What about Jim Pagliarone?
Well, you only mentioned that because Pagliarone, DeFabio were Foster brothers.
Luigi brothers.
And I like Boston because, they had a shortstop named Rico Petrocelli.
Yeah.
Those
were the good days. You're right about that.
I almost cried on my own show yesterday, and I don't usually cry at anything. I had Dick Groat on, and I only had him on for about 10 minutes. And he was reminiscent about our trips to New York. They would lay out the red carpet for us. And so I used to hang on to those guys. We flew together, we worked together, but any bar that they would go into, they never had to pay for anything. I could have got drunk at every Big East tournament, but I drink Diet Cokes, and I don't want to get drunk because I got to produce the games the next day or the next hours because these guys would get in 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 hours later, you never thought they were at a bar, And Dick Groat with his stories, he's like Steve Blass. If you know anything about Steve Blass, Jim Leland, those guys can tell some great stories. Now throw in Dick Groat, and the stories are hilarious. And in my opinion, maybe you can agree or disagree, maybe you don't remember the Pirates of the 60s, the best double play combination had to be Mazeroski-Groat.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And second, you probably got to go Mazeroski and Gene Alley.
Gene Alley was good. Yeah, Gene Alley was good. And the smallish guy on the Astros, what's his name? Altuve?
Oh, yes.
You know who he reminds me of? You must remember. One of the smallest guys to ever play baseball. Go ahead, tell me.
Freddie Patek.
Yeah. And he used to find ways of getting on base. Imagine pitching to him today.
The 99 mile an hour fastballs. By the way, if I can mention something, Mr. DeFabio, real quick here, to all our listeners out there that are listening, happy birthday, sir.
That was yesterday, and yesterday's gone. Chad and Jeremy, 1968.
Well, I thought I'd bring it up.
That's okay. Yep, I'm old. And tomorrow, or is it today, I'm closer to 80 than I am 60. I thought about that driving in. But whatever. Hey, but you got to get that book, Bill Cowher, Heart and Soul, Heart and Steel. And for $3 more, I think the book is $35. For $3 more, you can get a signed copy. How about that?
Yeah, that's collector's item.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't know what a collector's item is anymore, you know. I always like to have Jim Wexel on to promote his book, Troy Polamalu, because, you know, he's a freelance writer and he published his own book and everything, and, you know, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. Penguins, what kind of bet do you have that they go to the finals?
Believe right now, with all the COVID hitting that team, unfortunately now that the coach has it, they're at 22-1. They went down. They were 14-1 to win the Stanley Cup.
So many great teams in that division, in that conference, you know. So many. So many.
Tampa Bay doesn't look like they're stalling at all.
No, and there's the Pasta brother, who I thought he would end his career with Cincinnati. He's going to opt out of his contract. He's a free agent. He's going to make a ton of bucks. Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, he. You know what? He hits the ball. He's a good ball player. I like him.
Yeah, and I like the first baseman too, Joey Gallo.
Yeah, he. You know, when you get guys like that are devoted to, you don't see them being traded or anything. They're devoted to the community. You gotta love guys like that.
Yeah, and I can think of a guy I'd love to see in a Pirate uniform, but I don't think the Pirates can afford him, or I don't know if he wants to come to Pittsburgh. But as a Chicago Cub, and you know this, he would look at the schedule and say, when am I going to PNC Park? Because he owned the Pirates hitting home runs. Anthony Rizzo.
You couldn't have said it any more better than that, because he's another one of my favorite players. Yeah. You know, when he got traded to the Yankees, I said, you know, I was thinking of him, and as football, I was thinking of Russell Wilson. You know, how good he would look in a Steelers uniform.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's his status? Do you know?
I think
he's locked up. He's locked
Yeah.
up. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he likes playing to the guy who invented the game, Mr. Turkey, Pete Carroll.
You know, you can tell he's getting up there in the years, but his hair's still waving though.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, and I'll never. I think I ripped him, and I had every right to, even though the Patriots won. You're on the half goal line, right, or you're on the half-yard line, and you pass the ball when you have that great running back in the backfield, or to have the quarterback just sneak it in. Remember that loss to the Patriots?
We talked about that. You know, you had that leading running back in the NFL at that time. You know, but it seems that Marshawn Lynch with all his commercials is doing quite well.
Is he the one, sipping on a drink on the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great life. And you know what? I'm getting tired of Jake from State Farm, too. I just gave State Farm a nice plug. And Rogers and that. I mean, the commercials are okay, but, I like the new Troy Polamalu one, where he's following a guy around.
Yeah, he follows Mahomes around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Patrick
better get an offensive line.
When he's in the dentist office,
that's good too. Do you know? Here we have a Hall of Famer, Troy Polamalu. I don't know if you knew this. You know how he found out he was no longer a Steeler?
How'd that happen?
He got a text message from the front office.
Not from his agent?
No. Maybe it was through his agent, but it doesn't matter. You got to bring the guy in and talk to him. That's why L.C. Greenwood, for decades, didn't like me when I mentioned Chuck Noll. Because when they told L.C. Greenwood that he was no longer a Steeler, they had the ball boy go to his room in Latrobe. L.C., pack your bags. You know what I mean? Wow. But the bottom line in this crazy, wonderful, wacky world of sports, and we argue a lot, Legend, why can't we be friends?
That's a great thing for Odell.
Yeah, and I'd go to war with you, too, by the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right. Go Navy. Sink Notre Dame. Goodbye. All right. I'll be here hopefully next Friday. All right. You take care. Keep listening to AM 1600, because we'll always be the watchdog and your voice in the Ohio Valley.